The scammers online spreading their lies, pumping stocks with dollar signs in their eyes. But we see through the noise, cut through the mold, calling out fraudsters. Truth be told, hey, expose the lies, let the story unfold. Truth be told, yeah, shining the light on the tricks they sold. No hype, no spin, we bring the facts, let the truth roll in. Fraudsters beware, your game's getting old. We're taking it back when truth be told. Truth be told. Truth be told. And the truth shall set you free.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Truth Be Told. Of course, it's the whole crew again. Amy, Platinum, and myself, Anoisy Corax. How are you two doing this evening? Surprisingly paired up. Was this a planned endeavor?
No,
Or...
and my thing is, I'll be right back. My thing's all broken.
Technical difficulties, please stand by.
I'm still here then.
Still here. We're all still here. And we've got kind of a fat, like, I don't know about fat episode, but we definitely have some juicy topics in both meme stocks and, you know, our normal real world topics. I thought I had the perfect thing to have a meme stock headline for the first time in a while. And then I got blindsided on Friday, like all of us did. Oh, my goodness. Why is that? Why am I up there? I shouldn't be up there. There we go. So, like all of us, we got blindsided by Trump deciding, yeah, we're going to hike tariffs again. Why is this on the other side? I specifically. Okay, there, that fixes the alignment. Boom.
I mean, let's not, like, he literally said in a presser, like, right after, they're like, are you really going to do it this time? And he's like, I don't know, I'm thinking about it.
Oh my gosh. So we don't even know what, because the deadline he set, I think, was into the, like, November 1st, he was going to put these in.
Allegedly.
Which, you mentioned first.
And he even said, like, that's why I made it November 1st, because, like, he basically said he's making a threat, right? Like, and we'll see what they'll do. Like, this is his art of the deal, I guess, is to make threats that, you know, no one's 100% sure he'll follow through on.
Right. Hey, how you doing, Manuel? So, of course, naturally, we got some memes to go with the whole event.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win.
I love the professional green screening going on here. But more importantly, do you guys feel like you're winning right now? Did Platinum, Amy, were your portfolios winning after the end of Friday?
I mean, mine was okay because the things that I have weren't like too crazy.
Like, if you have a balanced portfolio, you're probably fine. But they were all red, right?
Yes, yeah, not by like, you know, what I'm seeing on crypto wallets, but yeah.
Oh, jeez. We'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, let's see here.
I think I fixed it.
Speaking of the whole crypto wallets thing we had, why is this so small? Let me see if I can zoom in and make this better here. Aha. Oh, it's because Platinum dropped and it made this
Yeah, she said she'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
murderous.
We had some crypto cope, we'll call it. Anthony Pompliano going, if Bitcoin can fall $15, $15,000, excuse me. there's some zeros I was missing there. Then that means that it can go up 15,000 at any moment.
Oh, brilliant.
Stay strong. Yeah, brilliant analysis there, Anthony. I whatever. And then, of course, we had this post that I think you were calling let's.
I did read all of that, and I was like going cross-eyed trying to read it.
I couldn't read all of
Why am
it
I
because
reading
I will be quite frank. That is a wall of text. I refused. But you called it like you'd read some of it at least. You called it saber
I read
rattling.
it.
I know.
I read it,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But I had to like. I mean, I was just like, seriously, bro.
But
And
yeah,
I mean,
you
it's so rambly and weird. He's saying like China sent other countries like a letter, a very concerning letter. I don't know. It's just like.
So that's the whole reason for his tariffs is this.
I guess
letter
I don't. I mean,
that
it's
supposedly went out.
so he says they're like, where is it? So the export controls. We've been contacted by other countries who are extremely angry at this great trade hostility, which came out of nowhere. Where does he talk about the letter? They want to hold the world captive. I don't know. He talks about how China
Magnets.
What?
And then he talks about magnets.
Here you go. They are becoming very hostile and sending letters to countries throughout the world that they want to impose export controls on each and every element of production having to do with rare earths and virtually anything else they can think of, even if it's not manufactured in China. So apparently China sent out a Dear John letter and Trump is losing his fucking mind about it. I mean,
yeah, well, what did he expect? He started this fight.
Well, where's the letter? Like, can we see the letter?
True.
Is the letter in the room with you now? Like,
is the letter in the room with
it a little bit more than that? And I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Though, as far as like you were mentioning, like, you know, you'd mentioned where he was like, oh, I will, I might, I don't know if I will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
here's what he said.
The credibility gap between what he said and what has actually happened as far as his tariff policy.
So here's what he said kind of right after. So Trump was asked if he'll retreat on China measure. And he said, we'll see. That's why I set it to November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
And like, for like a minute,
I can hear you,
instead of having like spurging out on fucking truth, like, why don't you think about some of the things that you do before you do them? Before you.
That's not how this presidency works.
I mean, like, you're like 80, bro. Like 80. Yeah.
But, you know.
Now it's like everybody is like losing their minds and, oh my God, it's over. This is the end. You know, because, you know, what did we drop? Like, maybe 2%, and this is the end of the world
like,
for
the max
people.
was
like
3 and it recovered.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, you can't handle a 2% drop. Like, thank God you weren't in the market for 2008, and you know,
a lot of these people didn't come into the market until after COVID.
I mean, if you think this is like the worst thing you're going to experience in the stock market, like, I've got news for you.
Yeah, it can get worse.
COVID, you weren't here in 2020 in COVID when.
Oh, I was, but I was
not you. I'm talking about all these people who are acting like
probably
the sky is falling. It's like, it's 2%, guys. Like, if you're like, that just screams over leverage to me. Like,
well, there were some people. Well, here, let me see if I can find. I will skip ahead.
Or at least very unhedged, and you know,
because there was where was it? I need to find it. There was a thing that I saw from our good person, Guru, the Guru Finder, who I think there was some post. I'll get to it later if I find it. That mentioned that, you know, now you can, that Coinbase is allowing, I think, 5x leverage or 50x. Okay, sorry, I'm missing a zero again.
Yeah.
Like, what the
terrible.
It's just unbelievable.
And that wasn't very long ago. You can find it's Brian Armstrong. You can find his tweet. It wasn't very long ago that he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys were asking 50x leverage, so your wish is my command." Boom.
And people wonder why
billions wiped out. Billions.
Like, the biggest crypto wipeout ever so far. 19 something billion.
Also one of the biggest crypto possible insider
Yeah, what
trading.
a great, what a great time.
What a great
short.
short, just like right before the announcement too, and everything. And
literally 1 minute was the last one.
Well, we'll get into that because I do have the
Okay.
CompuZilla video going over that.
Oh, I didn't even watch this yet.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn it up to it because, like I said, we got a lot to get to. So I'm going to find the speed. We're going to, where is it?
Down. Yeah.
Speed. Yeah, there. And we're going to see if we can get through this pretty quickly.
Our insider trading analysis. Someone made $190 million while the crypto markets were crashing yesterday in light of tariffs that seem to have been preempted by a very specific trader. We're going to get into it. I want to be clear that I'm not accusing anyone of a crime here. Insider trading specifically relates to...
Also, brief aside, like how many of these Trump announcements are we going to find out that there was someone front running them? Because we found out that someone was front running the original.
All of them, always.
And also none of them, because who's going to be investigating this? Nobody.
The only
so
one,
all
like,
of them and also none of them.
He also brings up the AMD one. I don't think that's so much front running because the options were bought 2 days before, but it's suspicious. It should be looked at in a normal situation that wasn't this administration, but it's not as blatant as some of these have been, where it's literally hours and minutes before the announcement someone's putting in a blockbuster trade that seems to magically work. I wonder how they knew.
Securities. We've been pretty clear that crypto, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, are not securities. So I don't even know what this is. I think this is all legal. Kind of. I don't think it should be, as you'll see. But the question is, what did this guy know? Okay, how did somebody make $190 million while everyone else was losing their shirts yesterday? If you don't know, there was one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen in crypto. And someone came in 24 hours before and started placing shorts against the market. Short is just when you bet that the underlying asset is going to go down in price and you will make money on that. Now, this all started October 9th. At 16:39 GMT time, they start accumulating this Bitcoin short.
And look at these positions. They're not small positions. Like, the net value of all of these positions here is $80 million. That's not chump change by any means. This is a serious bet that if it hadn't worked out, you would have gotten rugged hard.
They initially put, and this is not chump change, guys. This isn't under your couch, pennies. This is $80 million that initially gets.
I'd also be kind of curious.
Look at the amounts. They're all the same. Look at the amounts.
Yeah, they're sized exactly. I also am curious what the cost to borrow on a short like that is. It's kind of just as a
for like 20 minutes, probably not much.
Well, I mean, like just as the nominal value, not how much he paid, but like what? Because I've never shorted crypto before. Not that I'm out there ready to just do it.
Is it the same? Yeah. Like, is it the same where you have to?
I'm sure you could ask someone at Coinbase and they would tell you because they're the ones operating these kind of trades.
Yep, I can't tell you.
Deposited, and they start placing shorts against Bitcoin. Okay, that's fine. Now the amount is unusual, but that itself is not the unusual part. Then we have Ethereum starts to get shorted at 3:49 GMT. Interesting. $30 million gets deposited,
which is Greenwich Mean Time, which is 6 hours before us.
Well, these are the accounts that they just opened like before they did this. These aren't established accounts. Like are these the
they created these accounts specifically to run this trade?
Right. Is this the hyper liquid ones? They were created literally before they took this trade.
So to get it carefully here. So the first trade was at 10:39 Central Time, which would be 11 for platinum. And then the next one was at
platinum.
And then, so that's 3. So that would be, and then 3 more hours after that would be.
Well, yeah, because it was working. So.
Yeah.
They added more, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this was the next day. So this would have been.
And then after hours.
This would have been 9 p.m. at 9 o'clock, or for platinum 10 p.m. at 9.
So that's when he announced.
Starts to get shorted.
So right before he did the truth, and then in after hours he announced that the tariffs would start on November 1st, and everything sold off more.
Yeah.
3:49 GMT. Interesting. $30 million gets deposited into this account. Immediately start placing major bets that the market is going to go down. Why is this significant? Well, because at 14:57, this is only a few hours later, like 12 hours.
So this would have been, let's see here. This would have been 10 o'clock, 10:57 Central on the 10th.
10,
So 11 o'clock, almost noon Eastern time, because it's 6 hours back. It's Greenwich.
14 was 2.
It's Greenwich Mean Time. It's 6 hours ahead of Central, 5 hours ahead of Eastern.
I mean, can we just use normal time?
Well, because
later, Trump posts on
we
Truth
decided
Social
to use
that they
Greenwich
are
Mean Time.
calculating
I'm just
a
trying to
massive increase
calculate
on Chinese tariffs. This is due to a rare earth mineral dispute. But the point is, nobody knew this was coming, except, of course, maybe this guy, because he's already got these multi-million-dollar shorts. Now, where I think this goes from suspicious to downright diabolical is the fact that at this point, the market dips a little bit because you have these threats of tariffs. But the person does not start closing out their shorts yet, which I think is very interesting. You place this huge short bet, and then the president tweets something like this, you would think you would close out your order. But not only do they not do that,
because you got the news you wanted and the market's already moving. But no.
But then he
keeps
announces
going.
November 1st after hours, and it gets much worse.
not only do they
But
not
he
close
puts
out their
in more
short, they
trades,
continue to
see?
place short bets against Bitcoin. In fact, this person continues to short Bitcoin all the way up till 2049, 23 GMT. Why is that significant, ladies and gentlemen? It's because
2049 would have been.
Well, that's 1 minute before
Two.
he announced.
Yeah,
November 1st.
right.
What?
Right, because it would have been 2 o'clock p.m. right before the first announcement.
No, not 2 o'clock. This was after hours.
Yeah,
I'm
he
pretty
announced
sure.
it in after hours.
Well,
It was like
GMT,
almost 5 o'clock.
yeah.
Well, the last trade it shows here is GME 20, which if you take, that would be 1449 Central, which would be 249.
So then
Or-
3:49.
Yes,
Central.
Eastern.
Eastern?
349 Eastern.
But when was
That's
the
not-
announcement?
That's not when he announced November 1st.
Yeah, because I think it was
after hours.
4:49.
I can tell you exactly what time it happened. 1 second.
Yeah, why did he use GMT? What the hell? He used Eastern.
Probably because he used GMT, probably because the site they pulled it from had GMT time. See, it's in his screenshot.
Yeah, but he didn't use that on Twitter. Hold on.
why is that significant, ladies and gentlemen? It's because 2049 is the last short he places, okay? 2050 GMT. A minute later.
Yeah, because there it is. 350 is when the tweet came out that he's announcing the 10th.
Yeah, so it was 4:50. Right, exactly.
It would have been 4. Yeah, because the market was closed. It wasn't like, for me, it was like an hour and like an hour and.
Yeah, because
the market.
because we know CoffeeZilla is in Central Time, so 350 Central would have been 450 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So the
1
announcement
minute
is-
later, Trump
yeah,
announces.
okay. Yeah, so right about, it was right at around 4 my time. So an hour after the market closed.
No, it's 350 our time because we know the
Yes,
screenshot was taken by
this
Coffee.
is right. Like I just kind of used my thing. Yeah, 350 to 4. Yeah. Uh-huh.
They're considering an 100% tariff on China, which of course tanks the market. And this person makes literally $190 million in 24 hours, meaning the guy was placing shorts up to 1 minute before Trump announces this big, huge 100% tariff.
And then 1 minute before he stops and then reverses track and starts unwinding.
Right,
Did
then he took out all his money.
Did he go long at that
No,
point?
he
No,
took
he,
out all his
just
money.
And then-
unwinded the trade. That's all he
He
did.
just took the 190 and
He
left.
emptied out the entire wallet except for like $13 or something. Yeah.
By the way, immediately, as if he knew something, we start seeing the shorts close only 30 minutes later. So both the ETH and Bitcoin short closed 30 minutes later. By the way, these accounts were funded by the same people. This is the same person making these trades. So to recap, this person not only times the same day that a big announcement was made, he makes these $110 million short against crypto. He then also conveniently waits past the initial tweet about tariffs until the most significant announcement, which is the 100% tariffs, and he's shorting it up till 1 minute before that. Guys, this is some of the most blatant crime is legal moments we've seen. $190 million.
Yeah.
And the question is anything going to be done?
Yeah,
No,
if
actually, I can already
if
answer
they
that for you.
wanted crypto
Probably not.
regulations, like Biden was too rough on crypto. We want to lift all of the regulations, and you know what? Here you go.
Yeah, and then you get that total thing there.
Congratulations, you did it.
This
Here
smells
is-
like a Sam Bankman-Fried pardon, actually.
and so here you got that the candle here, like this huge dump right here, and if we go back, nope, that's not what I wanted. There we get this, it retraced, but that is a daily candle down $20,000 just one day.
That's crazy.
Which is like crypto went down even worse than the stock market did. Like the stock market, whatever, is like. But you know what? We've got our crew. We have photographs of who was the trader behind everything. We got this taken care of. We have figured out the culprit. So, I mean, he did do the intel meme. I think he's saying the quiet part out loud. We've figured out that the crime was coming from the Oval Office.
Oh yeah.
I doubt it's Trump, but I mean, to be able to know that, you have to be someone who's in contact.
Of course. I mean, okay, first of all, he's already had his Trump coin. So he's already in contact with,
which lost like 80% of its value. Did you see Trump coin?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, Corix, I think you're frozen.
No.
Oh no, never mind. You're not frozen.
No, I saw a tweet here from not tweet. I saw a message from Twitch, and I was trying to read it here. China's allowed to add consumption tax, which is it can be harmful. I mean, I'm not saying that China is the good guy in this. I'm all about free trade, but this is obnoxious silliness. The reason that even China is doing a lot of the policy it's doing is in response to the absolute
retaliatory tariffs.
Yeah. So like, I'm not pretending like there's an adult in the room. I'm just, at this point, it's just like, I don't know. I'd say there has been, like, at least as good as you're going to get it. It's definitely been more open than it has been. Also, we had the announcement that Trump said that oil was going to go down to $2 a gallon. This oil crash happened at the same time. I mean, you can look at the times down here as the announcements and everything, which tells you what people think about this tariff policy and where things are going. I mean, we've talked about before about how oil is a signal for economic output because, I mean, to drive economic output, but at this point, until we get to the sci-fi, future, we burn a lot of hydrocarbons. Actual hydrocarbons, not the make-believe ones that NextBridge pretends to have.
Not the NextBridge. That has no carbon.
But
I was like, NextBridge, hello.
So if you're seeing a drop in oil that's this sharp, we're below 60 for the first time.
Well, look at this first comment right here.
2025.
Oil prices around 60 per barrel in the U.S. can halt investments in the sector because they fall below the break-even point for many shale
especially
and
for
projects.
fracking. I know the break even usually for fracking is around about 80. I want to say $80 a barrel. So it like drill baby drill can't do that if the price is too low. And that's why when I hear Trump saying we'll make oil $2 a barrel, it's like, be careful what you wish for. There's some consequences there. To get to $2 a barrel, you kind of have to
oil went negative
destroy the economy in the process.
I don't think he gives a fuck.
You know what? I'm beginning to kind of agree with that. Oh yeah, and here's his the words out of his mouth.
We're down to about $61 now a barrel, and what gasoline's going to be. I think gasoline's going to be below $2 at some point in the pretty near future. It's very low, much lower than it was under Sleepy Joe, and the energy prices are.
I mean, again, like, is that necessarily a good thing? Like, it is. Like, if it gets too high, like we had at some point coming out of the COVID lockdowns, prices that were over $100 a barrel, absolute absurdity. But like most things, there needs to be a good price equilibrium, and I would say under $60 a barrel, not good, not good.
Yeah, well, where's production? I mean, how are those refineries going?
Yeah. Just to hit on a few macro things before we move on to our next topic. I've seen this tweet a lot, and while it's technically correct, I don't particularly like it. So yes, the 30-year on the Japanese 30-year JGBs is at its highest that it's ever been at 3.32%. But you have to also understand that 30-year JGBs have only existed since 1999. And let's say, for instance, that they existed for the whole length of this chart, like say back here to 1990. You're going to seriously tell me that if they existed back here, that JGBs would be at 3%? You kind of have to be more honest with the statistics. It feels like people are looking for stuff to make the doomer arguments about the current situation that they want to make, rather than thinking for half a second about things. So I think we're ready for our next main topic, which I know that Amy has been reading up a lot about. We got to also kind of lead into it.
Ugh.
Your imports of Russian natural gas. Well, they can't import natural gas or oil really from Russia because the pipelines wasn't that blown up, and also aren't there embargoes on yes, Russia can lower the market price due to import. Well, Russia can't lower their price, yeah, because they're trading it to areas. Maybe China's buying Russia oil and releasing it, then can go around that problem. Well, that would float up the price of oil and natural gas, not lower it. That Russia is basically excluded from the market, so it could go even lower. But anyway, so moving on to our good old pal, Mr. Pulte. We found out
we can cut it short. Like, he bypassed the inspector general with his criminal referrals. Like, Fannie has
shocking.
Yeah, they have their own inspector general, and they have their own investigation team, and they have a process for this. And Pulte just said, "Fuck, I'm gonna do it my way."
Well, we kind of knew that, because at least with the Lisa Cook one, we know he didn't even wait for the report to come back before he referred her.
Correct.
We knew that from a previous article that had been done. And then this one came out where finally someone in the media goes and looks at the Brandon Jones lawsuit, as opposed to just
wait, no. Just go back to the picture. Somebody took a picture from the feet up, which I love that. I love that.
Emphasize how short he is with the tie.
I love that for him. But usually that's not what happens. It's usually like him standing somewhere. Yeah. But I found the picture to be
hilarious. So someone actually looked at the Brandon Jones lawsuit, like not just referenced it in passing. I mean,
they looked at a lot. They looked at a lot. Like, they kind of just touched on that for a second, but they talk about. This was
grifting beforehand.
This was comprehensive. Like, they went into like the lawsuits with the family. I guess they tried to contact the family. The family didn't want to make a statement. Why? He was look at this one right here. He accused his grandfather's widow of insider trading. He was allegedly the driving force behind a website trashing an aunt as a fake Christian.
Yep.
And he publicly blasted another relative as a fat slob, which we saw. We all know what that is. We saw that. Weirdo and grifter. I mean, like,
hey, we all got to be a part of it, if you recall, towards the tail end of it.
They went deep into his past.
Right.
But yes, they did mention Brandon Jones, and they even said, like, how he tried to turn it, to like, they started out by saying, go to the part where they're talking about Pulte Homes.
Go away.
Okay, so he said in 2020, company officials had lost patience with Pulte, and the Pulte family equity stake dropped to a point where they were no longer guaranteed a board spot. Company officials moved fast and booted the scion. Pulte did not take it well. He sold his stock, accused his grandfather's widow of insider trading, and blamed the CEO for damaging the company. The parties appeared to reach, what is that? I can't say that. A detente?
A detente.
Detente. Nearly a year later, when Pulte received a plaque and a letter of thanks. Court records state it was short-lived. When we remember that, right? Like it was a very nice letter. It was a very nice letter, and the plaque.
It's a very Trump thing. Okay, if we do something just very small, it will placate the fat boob and make him go away.
Give me recognition. But then they talk about how he used the lawsuit to. Pulte saw a wider ranging conspiracy involving top Pulte group executives who he accused of participating in a nefarious smear campaign aimed at stalking, harassing, and defaming him. Though his lawsuit was against Jones, his attorneys broadened their campaign, bombarding the company and its officials with subpoenas and deposition requests. Pulte solicited whistleblower tips and helped finance lawsuits brought by others. I mean, all the stuff we already know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like, you know, I mean, most of it was a lie, right? Like even the context or the pretext of them kicking him off the board because he was going to oppose Brandon Jones' promotion
was a lie.
It was a lie. That was a lie because Brandon Jones didn't get that promotion
until after he was gone
for like 2 years later. Yeah. So the whole thing is just like, yeah. But they go into the whole thing and they talk about the letter from the family and yeah.
I also, as we head into what we're really talking about, I know this is really scrunchy on there. I'm sorry, I can't make it bigger. But apparently there was a Truth Social post where Trump is saying that they're pulling all of the Fannie and Freddie offices out of New York because of Letitia James, as if those things are like somewhere connected to each other. It's kind of the pettiness that, you know, you would expect at this point. And then finally we got what we had been expecting for a while, where, and I still don't know how they pulled it off, but they got a grand jury to come back and bring an indictment against Letitia James. And so
I think it's because they left out some pretty important things when they were presenting it to the grand jury. So
probably
that's be interesting.
Because we know from a CNN article that I know I sent you that Lindsay Halligan got the case, just like with the Comey case that looks really shady. And on top of that, Pam Bondi was totally in the dark about this. Like, you don't tell your chief prosecutor, the district attorney, that this is something we're going forward with. And what's even more hilarious about all of this, they didn't even go with the information that Bill Pulte brought.
Right.
Like, they went with a totally different.
That was the first one that they responded to, I guess, the allegations and proved that that's not what happened. So they went a different way, and I guess it's equally as weak because like her great niece lives there. It's a second home. Like, we went over this with Lisa Cook. Like, you can rent short-term rental. You can do a short-term rental on a second home. You just can't do like a timeshare situation or any like long-term arrangements. And then as far as like occupancy goes, you know, that's between like you wonder, but it's not the same as a primary residence. And I think like the boldest kind of part about this, like in reading the indictment, and is that like the money that she allegedly, got away with or whatever was, I think,
like $15,000, right?
$18,000, like $18,000 and change. But if you read the indictment, like, it's basically hypothetical. They're like, it's kind of like, if she did this this is the fees and this is the this that she
You didn't contact the bank.
she wouldn't have, you know, paid. Like, it's not even like that she did. It's just like, this is what it would be if we're right.
That seems very conclusory. But anyway, I've got this at 1.5 speed, so we don't spend a whole lot of time on it, but we're making good time. So if we do, whatever. I know Amy has at least watched this. I clipped it down to just the stuff about the Letitia James. So this is, again, from Lawfare. Molly Roberts is going to be the one talking about this, though. Anna Bauer does pop in for a little bit of it.
All right, Molly.
Hold on. What you missed before this was that Molly put out her write-up on this.
Yes, I did clip that out. Yeah, she did. And then
Roger Stone attacked
Stone
Anna.
clapped at Anna Bauer for some reason.
Well, I think funny. Roger Stone has a personal hate boner for Anna Bauer. And
because she called out Trump shit.
Well, and Molly was like, he knows better than to come for me because I will snap right back at him.
Yeah.
The reason you are being attacked by Roger Stone, despite him not seeming to be able to discern you from Anna Bauer, is that you have been writing about Letitia James and the indictment thereof. The indictment, of course, happened yesterday evening. You had written a long piece anticipating the indictment. Lindsay Halligan threw you a curveball and indicted on a completely different set of meritless facts. So what is, 24 hours after the indictment, what can we say about this case?
Yeah, she definitely threw me and everyone else, perhaps including Main Justice, a curveball. I can only hope that I at least made contact with it. So essentially what happened was there was a criminal referral back in the spring from Bill Pulte, who's the Federal Housing Finance Agency director, and he identified a property in Norfolk, Virginia that everybody expected would be the subject of this indictment. It looked like a pretty bad case. That's what my initial piece was about. It turned out that the indictment covered a different property in Norfolk, Virginia, and the case, to my thinking, is no stronger. So I can explain a little.
So that's kind of the interesting part about, like we discussed earlier, that they switched houses, and we knew Pulte's case was weak, and it does, as she's about to explain, it doesn't get any better because she's going to explain like some of the stuff we've already said, and then a bit more detail with it. But that's the weird thing about this.
He's like, apparently everyone in Virginia is committing mortgage.
I know, right? Well, and that's the thing that confuses me about this whole thing is, like, that kind of throws Pulte really hard under the bus, that you're not even going with his complaint. You're basically saying that he's not a reliable source right off the bat. You have two more criminal referrals right behind that you're using as the basis for things. Yeah. You're already saying that the first one he did wasn't worth anything.
Wasn't credible.
A little bit about
the vindictive, that when they counter with, vindictive prosecution or malicious prosecution, whatever they counter with. I know James Comey is going to, and that's not against Pulte, but any of these, they're going to do the same. And
we already know that Schiff is already planning on doing that. He's already threatened it to the DOJ if they bring charges, and that he plans on, going after them with his own lawsuit. So, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't at this point. It's so obvious.
Well, I mean, and then he truths out his private DM to Pam Bondi, basically giving them everything they need to be able to file these cases. Like, just you don't, like, your motion just needs to be like, see Exhibit A.
Usually when we talk about lawyers saying that you should shut the fuck up, it's defense lawyers telling their clients. Very rarely is it plaintiffs or like the government having to tell government agents to shut the fuck up.
Well, he was, but like he didn't mean to send that out. That was supposed to be
that one.
The private message to Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
And he sent it out to the fucking world.
So embarrassing.
I know.
Like, why are you sending messages on Truth Social? Why are you using official fucking communication?
Well, they were using Slack for not Slack, but Signal for DOJ conversations. I mean, at least that's private. There's no public.
Has anybody checked the security on Truth Social ever?
No.
Maybe somebody should look into that.
I'm surprised someone hasn't.
I mean, I guess you really don't need to because he doesn't know whether he's sending a truth or a DM, and he just tweets it out to the fucking world.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Look, it seems like everybody in the world has committed mortgage fraud in the Eastern District of Virginia, and Letitia James apparently did so serially, but has only been indicted for one count. So let's bore down into the one count that is bad enough to merit indictment. What is she alleged to have done?
Yep. So she's indicted on one count of bank fraud and one count of making false statements to financial institution. And this home was purchased in 2020, but the statute of limitations on those particular laws are 10 years long. So that's why he's able to do this. What did she do? Well, she basically said that she was purchasing a home as a second home, but according to the indictment, it was actually an investment property. And if that sounds not that different, it's because it isn't that different, right? A lot of people buy a second home and they think they'll make a little rental income from it, or they buy a home and they end up using it a little differently. And it turns out that, and if you were somebody who, say, bought a second home, maybe as a second home, but then got elected to be the Attorney General of New York, you got a little busy, yeah.
You got a little busy, and maybe you rent it out. Is that? I mean, it's not like like people's plans don't change.
Totally, and that's partly why the rule around this second home rider, the text of the second home rider, which is the document that the indictment points to say that she misrepresented herself. That's partly why it only covers the first year in which you own the house in the first place. But even then, there's an explicit allowance for doing short-term rentals, which
also, I know I'm jumping a little ahead here, but we have our good pal here, Mortgage Gag Reels, had pointed out that the difference between a second home and a rental investment home was 0 at the time of the purchase. So it's really hard to suggest some sort of intent to defraud, or if there's no.
That's because in 2020, the loan level price adjustments were 0. Like there was no difference between, like those didn't change until 2022.
Right.
Then they went significant.
And notice here, you can see that because he says 2023, which is the newest data we would have where it would start to diverge. Because like you said, Amy, there was no divergence at that point. So what is she defraud? Like what fraud? How could there be a fraud if there was no difference in the price? How could she what reliance was the bank being misled on that would lead to some sort of gain?
What it looks like Letitia James did here if she rented the home out at all. So the indictment is a little slippery because it says that here's the second home rider that she signed that prohibits her from entering into particular types of arrangements that would prevent her from having the home primarily available for her personal use during that first year. And then it doesn't allege that she entered any such arrangement. It alleges that she engaged in behavior, renting the house out a bit and not using it that much, that actually the second home rider does not prohibit.
So, dumb question, but the rider prohibits you from doing what with the house?
The rider prohibits you from entering into rental arrangements during that first year. Well, first of all, it prohibits you from using some agency to do this for you versus doing it yourself. But it also prohibits you from entering the rental arrangements during the year that will make it so that the home isn't available primarily for your personal use. It's very weedsy.
And that's only for the first year, these other riders that we've seen. So after the first year, if she wished to rent out the home, she could.
Right. And so that's what I was saying, with a timeshare, when she says agency, it would mean that, right? You own it, you turn it over to some time. I'm trying to just think of an example that real world example, but you turn it over to a timeshare agency or whatever that then does a whole thing for it. That's what agency means. And that's not what she was doing. And it's not the same as a primary residence where you have to live there for 12 months. And even then, even if it was that even with primary residence, if you talk through with your lender and you give your lender the reason why it's not, typically they don't bar you from doing what you need to do, especially if something changes your job.
Which is why those riders are usually in the first year. They want to make sure you're using it for the intended purpose. But again, like they said, if things change, you get a nice swanky job in New York as the Attorney General.
Right. They don't prevent you from, they're not no, you have to be, your body has to be in that place for 12 months. No, typically they're going to work with you.
Because they don't want you to be well, if I can't do this, I'm going to just sell the home and pay back the loan.
No,
they want to get that interest. Mortgage. They want to be able to make the money off the mortgage. Yeah.
They want you to pay your mortgage. So if you're paying, all of this is irrelevant if you're paying your fucking mortgage.
Right. What? Yeah.
and wordy, which is maybe why a grand jury decided to go ahead and give Lindsay Halligan this indictment.
Yeah, that's a point that I liked about it is like she makes pretty clear that all these mortgage details, we know them because we spent the past several months going through them, and of course we have a in-house expert like Amy. But your average, an average person who's going to be tossed these loan documents, and by the way, the defense isn't there; it's only the prosecutor explaining their side of the story through this.
Well, the grand jury doesn't know
legalese loan documents.
Right. I'm sure most of the grand jury doesn't know that there was no difference in the LLPAs in 2020 when this happened, right? Like, so they're just looking at their supposed math of like, oh, look, she did this to get this so that she didn't have to pay $18,000. And that's fraud, right? That's all they're seeing. Like they probably don't know the ins and outs of it. They probably don't even know what a second home writer says. Like, and there's nobody there to present them with that and say, well, this is what it actually is. This is what it actually does. And, you know, this was the facts of the time when she bought the home, you know, whatever it is. They're not seeing all of that. They're just seeing.
Does the prosecution meet the standard of being able to state a claim?
Right.
Under the
there's like a fancy saying that like you can indict a ham sandwich or whatever.
Yeah, well, we found out that you can throw a ham sandwich and not get indicted.
But basically, it doesn't prohibit you from doing a short-term rental for, you know, a few months or whatever over the course of the year. And also, it doesn't require that you actually spend any personal days at that home.
And just so that we're clear, when you sign such a rider, normally that's a contract issue between you and the lender, right? It's not fraud for me to say, you know, sign a document promising to do X and then, you know, with a mortgage contractor, and then for one reason or another, I don't do X. It's just like normally.
Right, unless you actually default on the loan by fraud, it's a contract issue. That's a civil cause of action, not a criminal cause of action.
Well, and if there was communication between her and her lender, it's not even a breach of contract.
Right. If she said, I'm going to be in New York, I'm going to rent this out, and the bank goes, that's okay, just keep paying your mortgage, it's fine.
Well, and that's kind of what happened with the first one was like, the first one they tried was that whatever the discrepancy was, like she caught it and she contacted her lender immediately and got it rectified. So that was why that case wasn't brought. And now we're trying this.
Yeah. I would think of that as a breach of contract. Where does the fraud come into it?
Right. So they would have to prove that she intended to deceive the bank, the lender, and also that deception would have been likely to, or that she had the intent to convince the lender, or that it would have been likely that it would have convinced the lender to give her a loan at a better rate than the lender otherwise would have done.
And why are we assuming, and by we here, I mean Lindsay Halligan, that the lender would give you a better rate if it was a second home than it was a rental property? After all, a second home doesn't generate income with which you pay your mortgage, and a income property does. So what's the reason for thinking that she would be lying in order to obtain a better rate?
Yeah, I mean, the indictment says that on average, you could be expected, based on kind of the standard range of rates for second homes versus investment properties, to pay, I think, a 0.815% higher rate on an investment property than on a second home, which in Letitia James's case, over the lifetime of the loan, would have yielded her what they call ill-gotten gains of just under $19,000. So yeah, it's the range of rates that a lender would tend to offer in the range.
And best case scenario,
they're not even saying that this is what happened, that she had ill-gotten gains of $19,000. They're saying
they're assuming that
this is what it would have been
at most.
Correct. And in her intent in committing mortgage fraud was to save her
probably multi-$100,000 house.
Was to save herself $18,000.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was we could even do the math back if
over the lifetime
of the loan.
Yeah.
To be clear,
not
30-year.
Right. Not a one-time payment of $18,000 over a 30-year period. So she's going to commit mortgage fraud.
Mortgage fraud to save $18,000 over 30 years.
Right.
Tends to be higher rates for investment properties than for second homes.
All right. So if I'm Letitia James's lawyers here, it seems to me there is,
and they're completely leaving out that you can rent out a second home.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we
so
talked
long as
about
it's not a long-term lease, like if it's
right.
short.
This is what we talked about with Lisa Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're saying, well, she got it as a second home, but it should have been an investment property because she was renting it out. And it's like, you can rent out a second home.
Yeah. You can even rent out a primary residence. You said, like, if you get it.
You can rent out a second home. You can buy a second home and slap that bitch on Airbnb.
Like I know,
and then go visit it twice a year.
Like I know people who do if you got a 2-story house with a basement, you know, the family will live in the upper floors and rent out the flipping basement, like, you know, whatever. So long as your bank knows,
and
like the key thing there.
Like I'd have to go back and pull it up, but there's a thing where like it can be for a family member and like her family member lives there and she doesn't pay rent. So it's not. So
basically house setting.
Well, she's not collecting rent.
Right.
To pay her mortgage. Like.
So it's not like it's being used as a rental property.
Right.
Jim Comey indictment. We only have, there's no mystery as to what the facts are here because there's no classified information. So one thing you can do is everything Comey is going to do, which is, you know, your vindictive prosecution motion. That's going to be as rich as Comey's is. But the second thing you can do is file a motion that says assume the facts as alleged they don't amount to a crime under the statute for all the reasons that we just discussed. The rider's kind of vague. It doesn't seem to prohibit what it prohibits. So what do you expect her first move here to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think that she could absolutely do that. She is scheduled to appear in court on October 24th. She's been issued a summons, not an arrest warrant, so it looks like they're not going to try to perp walk her. Her lawyer, Abby Lowell, and the rest of her team didn't have any ability ahead of this to get any documents that might debunk what's in here. In the case of the indictment that was expected, do
you think that's the reason why they swerved him? Because they had such an established case, Amy, as to the first one that maybe they thought that if they pulled the rug and went for a different home, that somehow they'd be able to pull the fast one and they wouldn't be able to be prepared for it. Because that was my curiosity.
They never tried to indict her on the first one.
Right. That's what I'm saying is that her legal team, Letitia James, legal team was ready for that. Right. And so they had to audible. And now they're kind of on the back foot a little bit. Like that was part of the reason.
I don't know. Like I was just reading Anna Bauer was saying someone was saying I'm so confused. There was or wasn't another home that was purchased for James's niece. And she said there are 2 Norfolk homes and 2 nieces / grandnieces. Mm-hmm. Nakia is the grandniece who lives at the Perone Avenue home, which James purchased in 2020. That house is the subject of the indictment. Shamise is the niece who James co-signed a mortgage for in 2023. That property was subject of investigation and did not end up in charges. So that's the difference. So it was a co-sign by James for a mortgage to help her niece.
So I think we got most of what we want to out of the lawfare video. I'd suggest go watching that on their channel on YouTube. They go into a lot of depth of a lot of these Trump lawsuits, and it's a great follow. They do it every Friday. I usually drop in because I like having my notes checked when I have an opinion on some of this, like either Lisa Cook or Letitia James stuff by real lawyers. So, you know, but shortly about this same time, we get our favorite meme stock hero returns for yet another Fox News appearance, trying to back up everything.
Well, mortgage fraud is very serious, Laura. I don't like how people are trying to minimize this and trying to minimize violating the law.
It's being minimized because your complaint was wrong.
Because it's bullshit and it's not fraud.
Yeah. Like they went with a different one because
I don't like that people aren't believing me on face value and they're actually looking at this and proving that it's not fraud. I don't like it, Laura.
Who knew that chronic pathological liar, Bill Pulte, is a chronic pathological liar.
Shocking.
She was charged with bank fraud. I mean, that's a very serious thing. And Laura, I'll say this: when people lie on small things, they tend to lie on big things.
Them?
Yeah,
that's a big question.
You would think that if the bank like that, they would make the referral,
right.
Or if Bill Pulte showed this, the bank would be backing their claims, the state's claims, but apparently not.
And they tend to lie a lot. And going back to the 1980s, this subject said that she was married to her father. That doesn't make any sense for purposes of getting a.
Oh, do you want to explain that?
No, she didn't. Her father co-signed a loan in the fucking 80s. Her father co-signed a mortgage.
So it wasn't that they were married. He doesn't even understand what a co-sign is. I just had that moment, like Eureka moment. He doesn't know what a fucking co-sign is.
I mean, I just.
Oh my God. You are in charge of a mortgage regulator, and you don't know what a fucking cosign is?
Yeah. Like, who goes on TV and says that she's, like, said she married her father? Like, no, she didn't. Like, it's just, like, it's... Like, they just will, like, look you in the face and, like, lie. Like...
mortgage application. And then she has these 3 different properties. She has 2 in Virginia, one that she claims is her primary residence, another one that she claims is her second.
The one that they didn't indict on, by the way, failing to mention that.
She didn't claim it was her private. She co-signed for her niece. Like, again.
So it's like, the niece that it's the primary residence
the niece's
for
home.
That she co-signed on.
It's the niece's home that she co-signed for. Like honestly, she just sounds like a great aunt.
Yeah, I mean, my aunt co-signed on a loan for
Who's
me.
helping her niece and her grandniece, have a home to live in.
Right.
Which the DOJ is now, and Lindsay Halligan's done a great job, I think, at laying this out.
You mean the fucking insurance lawyer that got hired on simply because she knew Donald Trump?
Never been a prosecutor. Yeah.
Cool story.
Sounds good.
I mean, if he was to make fun of Lizzie Halligan, he'd have to make fun of himself because the only reason he's there is because he's really good at giving those blowjobs to people who are in a higher station than him.
Letitia James appears to be representing it as an investment property for her taxes. So I think Miss James has a world of.
Where did that happen? Because that's news to me. I don't think anyone has tried to argue that. But okay, sure.
Problems. And I just want to tell everyone, if there is mortgage fraud and you commit mortgage fraud in this country, we're going to come after you. It doesn't matter.
Unless you're a Republican, as we've established. I'm sure Amy has expertise on certain Republicans from the state of Texas who seem to have committed mortgage fraud by the same standard that Pulte's alleging of others and is getting out. Nepo Baby's family has done the same thing. Are they in trouble too? No, that one was a little different. They were misreporting taxes, and their that was removed in the state of Michigan. They were basically had primary residences, I think, in Florida and Michigan at the same time, and Michigan removed I think it's what's it called? It's some tax credit that you can get for a primary residence on your first residence. I know I should know it, but it's been a while since we talked about that when that first came out. I want to say it's been like a month since that came out. But yeah. Can we back out of this. So like we said, there was that. So she acquired the second home and got a better rate as a result by claiming occupancy fraud. The second, and so the primary residence, it significantly undermines their claim because the rate would be the same. So there can be no fraud. But yeah, that pretty much covers the Letitia James situation as far as that goes. As the parting mentioned towards the one of the lawsuits that is currently going on that we've been following that deals with Bill. This one against this is Fannie Mae. Yeah, Fannie Mae. Those that have stayed on as we talked about last time back in September, Fannie Mae moved to compel arbitration and dismiss the action. And some of them did settle. But for those that stayed on, they asked for an extension of time. And on the 8th, it was granted. So we'll see how they respond to that. If we get arbitration in the civil rights case for employee discrimination, or if Bill Pulte skates on that, or I guess Fannie Mae in this case, because they're the employer. Still no news as to the defamation case, since that's state level. It's a little harder to follow. So we'll see how it goes from there as far as that is concerned. Where are we on the next thing to do? Nope. Speaking of which, I know the past 2 episodes we've been talking about the Tylenol episode and that all stuff, and we learned a new fact bit from our RFK Jr.
and it's a developmental issue. Yeah, it's not Tylenol while you're pregnant causing developmental issues. It's this.
What about the girls that get diagnosed though?
And they don't really matter, I guess. Yeah. Just like, what kind of fucking science is this?
Not science. It's bullshit pseudoscience stuff. That's what it is. We do have some. That's out of order.
And I'm not even sure if they gave my son Tylenol after his circumcision. I don't really remember, but
better not have done that. That's a double whammy. Super autism.
Just that's what he's saying.
Watch out, your child might become a day trader.
Right, that's what he's saying. He's saying that they're giving them Tylenol after they circumcise the babies, and I'm like, what?
What?
What about the girls?
I just
What about
just you know what? Fuck it. Just say whatever you want. Whatever you like.
I mean, that's always been what RFK Jr. has done. He just says things.
Yeah, just say what you want.
Let's be honest here. So
now we're just gonna have a bunch of.
So we've got a clip to lead us into our next segment, which I think should be interesting because I think we briefly talked about it last episode, but let's get rolling.
Argentina is a beacon in Latin America. President Milei has done the right thing. He is trying to break 100 years of a bad cycle in Argentina. He is also a great ally for the U.S. He'll be coming to the Oval Office next Tuesday, and he is committed to getting China out of Argentina. They're all over the place in Latin America. And when people say to me, how is this not America first? I'll tell you why it's not. Do you want to be shooting at more gunboats like in Venezuela? We do not want a failed state.
Well, I mean, Argentina. I'm glad because I've not been paying a whole lot of attention to this whole thing other than what I think it was you that brought up, Amy, that they immediately turned around.
Well, but Scott Besson's friend is a hedge fund manager, Rob Citrone. Mm-hmm. Citrone, whatever. And he had quite a bit of a big bet on Argentina.
Well, I do like, as some people may have saw, I do have a Patrick Boyle video that I think goes into this quite well. I clipped it down to try and get it down to size, so it was 10 minutes, and I also will be bumping the speed on this. But it does explain the situation a little bit more in depth, so you get some of the background, because there's a lot going on here, and it's a lot of both the United States and China trying to use Argentina as a pawn, which Latin America in general
Argentina has been burning through dollars like a gambler on borrowed time. In just 7 trading sessions, the Treasury sold $1.8 billion to defend the peso and maintain an exchange rate that markets expect to collapse the day after the midterm elections. Interest rates on short-term debt surged past 87% this week, and the central bank is running low on ammunition. The Argentine government is intervening in spot and futures markets, reinstating selective foreign exchange controls, and clinging to a currency band that looks increasingly fictional. President Javier Milei insists that the peso must hold at least until October 26th, when half of Congress is up for grabs. But the more dollars he throws at the problem, the more obvious it becomes that the current exchange rate is unsustainable. A US Treasury pledge of support last month managed to calm markets, but didn't reverse the slump. Now the US has escalated its involvement. On Thursday this week, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced that the US Exchange Stabilization Fund, an emergency fund run by the US Treasury, had directly purchased Argentine pesos. This is a very unusual move. The ESF has only intervened directly like this 4 times in the last 30 years. Its most recent high-profile intervention was more than a decade ago and came as part of a G7 effort to control a spike in the yen after the Fukushima earthquake in Japan back in 2011. The ESF most famously lent $20 billion to support Mexico after its currency collapsed in 1994. Mexico drew down $12 billion of that 20 and eventually repaid the US with a profit. Bessent also finalized a $20 billion currency swap framework with Argentina's central bank, declaring Milei's reform program to be of systemic importance. The peso rebounded slightly on this announcement, and Argentina's dollar bonds rallied, but the intervention has sparked bipartisan backlash in Washington. Critics on both sides of the aisle are asking whether this is in America's interests. When Javier Milei took office in December 2023, he brought a chainsaw to the office, both literally and metaphorically, but most importantly, literally. The self-described libertarian economist promised to cut through decades of Peronist interventionism and restore Argentina's economic credibility. His early moves were dramatic. He balanced the budget within a single quarter, cutting the deficit from 5% of GDP to 0. Inflation, which had been running at over 200% annually, began to fall sharply. By mid-2025, monthly inflation had dropped to around 2%, and the IMF was publicly praising his fiscal discipline. One of Milei's most tangible successes came in the housing market. In his first month in office, he repealed Argentina's rent control laws, regulations that had distorted the rental sector, driving landlords out of the market and leaving thousands of usable apartments vacant. The results were immediate. Listings on Argentina's real estate platforms surged by 180%. Real, meaning inflation-adjusted rents, fell, and long-term leases returned. The Cato Institute described it as a textbook case of deregulation improving outcomes for both tenants and landlords. High inflation in Argentina had also pretty much halted home sales, as the extreme inflation meant that it made no sense for anyone to make any sort of long-term loan. Thus, you couldn't borrow money to buy a house. Now that inflation...
Which I think is kind of crazy. I mean, like, I don't want to stay in here too long, but imagine a market where inflation is so high that you can't even get a mortgage because the bank can't properly price the interest for the loan. That's absurdly insane.
Inflation has fallen, mortgages are back, and houses are once again transacting. Milei's economic philosophy, which is rooted in free market orthodoxy, stood in stark contrast to the populist statism of his predecessors. While his flamboyant style drew comparisons to Donald Trump, his policy agenda was more Milton Friedman than MAGA. He slashed tariffs, scrapped export taxes, and began privatizing state assets. This is pretty much the opposite of what Trump has been doing. For a country long mired in inflation, capital controls, and fiscal mismanagement, Milei's early months offered a rare glimpse of coherent reform. With midterm elections approaching later this month, Milei faces a critical test. Even a modest gain in congressional seats could help him block hostile legislation and shore up his reform agenda. But if the vote goes poorly, his ability to govern and the durability of his economic program could be in jeopardy. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that the United States stands ready to do what is needed to support Argentina. That announcement alone helped calm markets, but it also raised eyebrows in Washington. Behind the scenes, the bailout may be about more than Argentina. Washington's support for Milei coincides with growing concern over China's influence in South America. Argentina has an $18 billion swap line with the People's Bank of China.
See, this is why I think the original reason why that he got the swap line for Trump. It's not just about basically supporting an ally or things like that, or someone who has political, ties or anything financial. They're having a currency, a monetary issue in Argentina, and they're, as Patrick is about to explain, their swap line is their trade of soy and other farming products to China in order to get a dollar swap line from China. So the game plan from the administration in the White House is, if we give emergency money in a swap line to Argentina, maybe they'll stop trading with China, which will allow us, because like you were talking about, I think it was Amy 2 weeks ago when you were last on here, or was it a week ago? About how they, this swap line happened in Argentina. It started trading with China. Well, they had already been trading.
China
increased its imports.
Well, we gave Argentina $20 billion, and China's not buying soybeans from the U.S. because of retaliatory tariffs,
right?
And so they went to Argentina for soybeans, and Argentina sold it to them,
right?
After we just gave them $20 billion. So I think there was probably an expectation of,
you won't break
screw over
line.
the U.S. Yeah, you don't screw over the U.S. to provide China with soybeans, but
the problem with it is it enough? Because the majority of their swaps for U.S. dollars is coming from China. So you see what I'm saying, where there's this tug and pull between the two parties. We're in a monetary crisis, and we're going to take whatever dollars we can get to prop up our monetary structure, and they can't, at least at this point, dump
a $20 billion bailout doesn't buy loyalty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, if that's not enough to right the monetary situation, which a lot of people are saying it isn't, then you kind of have to play both sides. And yeah, it's going to screw Americans, and probably at some point possibly screw China as well, because Argentina is walking a very fine monetary line because it wants to try and keep the Argentinian value rather than reduce the value and increase the amount of pesos in circulation, which we'll get to that bridge when we get there, if that's a good policy or not.
And Beijing has been deepening its trade ties across the region. Besant has said that Milei is committed to getting China out of Argentina. The Trump administration has reportedly asked Argentina to reinstate export taxes on farm products, a move that would benefit U.S. agricultural interests, but undermine...
Right, because that's the part of it that they want from it is that, hey, we're tariffing China. Don't make it easier for China to get stuff from you. Put back on your own tariffs or taxes that would raise the costs of soybeans going to China from Argentina.
On Milei's free market agenda and make it more difficult for Argentina to get the foreign exchange it needs to pay back its bondholders. Critics point out that it's unreasonable to blame countries like Argentina and Brazil for selling agricultural produce to China, replacing U.S. producers, as it was the U.S. that started a trade war with its farm sector's best customer. Scott Bessent told Fox News late on Thursday that this is not a bailout and that he thinks the peso is undervalued. Most economists disagree, saying that the currency is too strong and hurting Argentina's competitiveness. You also don't need to spend billions of dollars supporting a currency that's undervalued. The evidence of overvaluation is in plain sight. Bloomberg wrote an article earlier this week on how thousands of Argentinians are making trips to shopping malls across the border in Chile like it's Black Friday at Best Buy.
Can you imagine, this... Which I think is a situation that Argentinians haven't seen in a while. They've had rampant inflation, and suddenly they have a strong peso with purchasing power that you could go elsewhere to get goods cheaper. Because of the policies that have allowed more economic growth, in order to keep that economic growth going, usually you see an expansion in the monetary supply, regardless of it being inflationary necessarily. Which, however, is going to reduce the value of the peso, or the Argentinian peso at least. So yeah, that's why they're saying it's overvalued, because the economy is growing in Argentina after these reforms, and the market is naturally wanting to expand the monetary supply, while the government is trying to hold up the value and contract on the supply, and also doesn't have the dollars to back up the value. So the natural, want is for monetary expansion and the price to fall, and the government's trying to prop it up. And it's leading to more imports than exports and other things that are really causing problems, only making things worse in Argentina.
Stuffing their cars with TVs, laptops, and clothes, thanks to the peso's new purchasing power. If your currency makes foreign electronics cheaper than buying rice at home, something may be off. Bloomberg argue that for Scott Bessent's bet to pay off, a lot of things have to go right, things that in the past have tended to go wrong in Argentina. There's a famous line in economics that there are 4 types of economies: developed, undeveloped, Japan, and Argentina. And it's impressive to get your own category in economics textbooks right next to Japan, and don't try this at home, but it might not be fun if you live there. Argentina's currency troubles are by no means unique. History offers a long list of failed attempts to support an artificially high exchange rate. The European monetary system famously unraveled in 1992 when the UK was forced to exit the ERM under speculative pressure. I made a video on that a while back called How George Soros Broke the Bank of England. Scott Bessent worked for Soros and helped break the Bank of England. Now he's trying to unbreak the Bank of Argentina. That's what we call career range.
The idea that Scott was working in hedge funds on monetary. Now he's trying to undo the things that he's done before. Patrick is great stuff. He's got this wonderful and beautiful dry British humor that never ceases to be subtly get a good chuckle out of you. But yeah, like that, like I really like his video because it takes an issue that I didn't really know much about and has a lot of complicated nuance to it. And like, I cut it down a bit, but it's like a 20-minute video, which for like finance topics, that's like this deep interconnected, macroeconomic stuff is like a breeze. You can spend hours and hours listening to lectures about stuff like that, and it'd be 9 times less fun. But yeah. I'm trying to find what are. Also,
I wanted to answer Common Fodder's. So, they like the Pulte family. Yeah, they didn't do the same thing. They did. It was more of like
because this came up while you were away.
It was it's the tax thing.
Yes. Where I was trying to explain it too, and I completely blanked on it as well.
On the homestead exemption. It was the homestead
there
exemption.
You go. Thank you. Yes. So also,
as far as I know they don't rent out that house in Michigan, but I don't know. I think the only thing I saw was the homestead exemption.
Is this seriously what the drop page on this is? It is. Like, I get that it was called Obamacare when we had that policy come up, but I don't think they named the website and then splashed Obama across the front of it.
No, they didn't. It was the ACA, right?
Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, the Affordable Care Act. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he also wants to put his face on a $250 bill. So, anybody surprised by this?
I've never heard of that at this point. That's
no, that amazing. Just came last week. Was that he wants to I guess make a $250 bill, and B, put his face on it.
Why do you need a $250 bill? That's such an odd denomination.
Inflation.
Hey, it's like, don't forget you owe me one of those $250 bills, okay?
It'll be like the new $100 bill.
You can pay for half of your groceries with Trump
boxes. So we got Zach Morris apparently pimping
futures.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and he's like giving away prop counts.
Like we know that prop trading is not it's usually a scam. Like 99% of all prop trading firms are usually a scam meant to extract money from you.
Let's sink a whole bunch of people into futures so they can trade on leverage, and it's great. It's a perfect plan.
I'm sorry, I don't read long chat GPT. Look, PJ Matlock is trying to prove that being a chat GPT lawyer has a future with his second.
I can pretty much sum it up. He basically just lists all.
Why is he citing Simonelli like that?
Because they listed it in the if you go to the appeals decision, he basically just took all of the case law that they cited in the appeal decision.
Yeah, but it was part of the reason why they lost their appeal.
Yes,
that's why it's
like that's like.
Well, this is what
I don't think he understands that.
The original dismissal was on Simonelli, and then they appealed, and they wanted to wait for the Cosesis decision. But the original dismissal of the indictment was based on Simonelli. So, but they list all of this case law in the appeals decision, and that's really what he did, is he broke all that down.
At
least he listed what it was, and
No, he didn't break it down. Chat GPT broke it down, and then he copy pasted into.
Yeah, did an X article. But they're basically just saying that we didn't lie about the stocks. We didn't, like that. So it's not fraudulent inducement because we didn't lie about the stocks.
Right. We just lied about how bullish we were.
It's the same thing as always. You just strip away all the nuance and all the everything. You look at it in a vacuum and.
Right.
No. Yeah, I don't know why they're trying to. I mean, I guess I do know why they're trying to try this in the court of public opinion, and
because they know they're going to lose in the court of law.
I don't know, but I get why. I don't know where their lawyers are. I mean, I don't know why nobody's like, just shut the fuck up, guys. Like,
I'm sure they are, but they can't control them.
Sure.
They can tell them to shut the fuck up, but
if they don't listen,
they're not all talking, but yeah, some of them are.
Yeah. So I have
even Zach Morris isn't really talking about it.
Right. He's just spurting out whenever he gets really angry.
Like it's just like here or there, and not like this.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I have a new pet peeve that's shown up on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It's the if you price the S&P not in dollars but in mythical fairy dust and other things that aren't, a currency, the S&P actually lost money. So this is an S&P chart priced in terms of gold.
Well, I think, like I said, didn't I say this last week? Like, the gold rally is not. I mean, it's not as amazing as everybody thinks because it means that the dollar's being devalued. So,
well,
I mean,
not
I get
necessarily
where
devalued because, like, it depends.
Value.
It can be inflation,
or at least
but
the
it
belief
can also
of it.
be lack of liquidity or other factors too. Yeah, and it could be people just being speculative too.
So I mean, I get where he's coming from on this, but
also the next pet peeve of if you price it in terms of Bitcoin, it's like I had an argument with someone.
People are desperate for a bear market. I promise you, they're like when a bull market goes on like this for so long, and like people get uncomfortable.
And you get stuff like this.
They feel like they've, everyone's always looking for the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody wants to catch the top, right? You don't want to be the last person out the door. So I think a lot of people are at the point where they're like, I've made, like, it sounds silly, but like I made so much on this, like I'm not comfortable holding it anymore, right? Like it's because you just have that sort of internal feeling of like something bad's going to happen and I'm going to lose all of this that I've gained. And I've heard people talk about like, I don't feel comfortable holding tech anymore because I've held it for all of this time and it's gone up so much. And so like, I think everybody is sort of like needing it to pull back a little bit.
And while I don't agree with everything in this chart, I think this is a good example of what you're saying is like the difference between like you got Cisco over here on the left and it's like this is a bubble where the price becomes detached from the actual earnings of the company compared to NVIDIA where the price is following the earnings. Now, could NVIDIA be over earning and the price retrace along with the earnings? Sure. But as things stand right now.
Well, but I think that goes back to like
correlated.
I think that goes back to NVIDIA pulling forward their earnings, right? I mean, like they are pulling forward like the pipeline, everybody that's in the queue, like they're pulling that forward. And so, I mean, I think if it was real earnings, right, not future earnings that they're reporting every 3 months, like maybe this is true, but I don't like. I think it's a little bit risky to pull forward your earnings because anything can happen, right? Like
right.
To where those sales don't come through. So you're making promises now of things you're not guaranteed of. And so I think that's that's a little bit
especially
risky.
when some of their investments are becoming pretty interwoven. Like, you got
Well, they all
CoreWeave
are. It's
and
becoming
Intel and AMD. Like
it's
Intel
all
is now
becoming circular.
it is now invested in 2 of its GPU competitors. That sounds kind of antitrusty to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, and NVIDIA is, I mean, like, it's all just circular. NVIDIA is basically, like with CoreWeave, right? Like, they're giving CoreWeave the money to
buy and then
buy
rent.
but to continue to rent their chips or to buy their chips, and they're like, everybody's sort of just like crossing streams, and you're funding your future sales that you're
And if
presenting,
it's
that you're
totally
pulling
legal,
forward.
and the
You're
sales
funding
there and
those,
everything.
you're personally funding those future sales that you're pulling forward. Like, it's all a little bit incestuous and weird.
Right.
I feel like I don't really know how it's going to turn out, and that's a little bit scary. But
right, and it's fine if it's a legitimate business with legitimate revenues, and maybe they just need financing to get through. And it'd be the same way as if, like, you go to buy a car from Nissan, and they're the one doing the financing for your car. But it becomes a little bit more.
Or if you go to Carvana, then the CEO is just selling his stock every day to fund
right,
the subprime loan
exactly.
thing. Yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who
So,
cares?
it's a fine line, and right now it's too early to tell if there's something wrong. But there's stuff there. Like, people should always be a little bit skeptical of stuff like this, but at the same time, just divining some sort of conspiracy that, for all we know, is not there.
Like everybody, all these people who were desperate for the pullback, you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, the RSI,
possible taco trade on the whole market.
the RSI dropped down to like 50 on Friday, and it's been running hot for, I can't even tell you how long.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, but I get it. Like, I get feeling like, this has to be the top, right? And like, we always go through these cycles of calling the top and the bottom, right? Oh, I caught the bottom, and oh, it's a blow off top. But every day you're having a blow off top. I mean, like, every day you're like, okay, this is a blow off top, and then it just keeps going higher.
Rally
like, the market just wants to
going
melt
on since our last big thing, not just COVID, from the great financial crisis, has been like, what, a 500% friggin' rally all the way to COVID, and then even another like 100 to 200 since then. So like,
the market just wants to melt up. Even after the when Trump said 100% tariffs on November 1st, right? Like, it went to like, I think
it came back really fast,
657, and it ended up closing after hours at like 653, already back. So like, I think that a lot of people are so programmed to buy the dip, right? Like BTFD, like and all of the people who have been sitting on the sidelines waiting to buy the dip are like, the dip is here, and I'm like, just not much of a dip, but sure.
Yeah.
But earnings starts in like, what, a week or two, so
yeah, we'll see how things adjust.
I don't. Yeah.
This was one I read into it after I saw it. Someone was trying to make it sound like these boycotts were really a big thing, but I don't think they are. The big thing is that T-Mobile has been overpromising and under-delivering as of late. But apparently, in the recent earnings report, they had fleeing customers, a lot of them having to do with that. T-Mobile had promised to some of their legacy customers that they wouldn't raise rates and things like that, and they've been having to do that. And so people are like, well, I'll just cancel my line and move on. But there are some people thinking there might be some more systemic issues.
T-Mobile? I thought it was Verizon.
No, T-Mobile bought Sprint. And so in order to do that buyout that happened, I think, beginning of this year, they got rid of their let's see here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So T-Mobile ended its diversity, equity, inclusion program in order to fast track the merger. So it's basically the CBS Paramount issue all over again. And so because of that and a few other issues, there's apparently a boycott starting against T-Mobile for basically selling out to get a merger.
I mean, like, where are these things coming from? Like, are they sending this into the government saying we want to merge, and they're like, well, you're not unless you do this, this, and this.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Because that's exactly what happened with CBS Paramount. And then they also got sued by Trump, and they settled and got the merger done.
Why do these companies keep settling with this man?
That's a great question. Great question. Before we move on to meme stock stuff, I kind of wanted to get your opinion on this, since it was kind of an interesting thing. Home Loan Bill had a post where he said, where he's like, he's responding to this guy who said, I've seen this movie before. Borrowers head back to riskier mortgages looking for any potential savings. And he's like, no, you haven't seen this movie before. Arms today are nothing like the arms in 2000. Right. Fair statement. Can you maybe elaborate on that a bit, or?
I mean,
if you want to, I'm just throwing it out there because I thought maybe you might have a little bit more.
I'm probably not. I wasn't like a broker. Like, I'm probably not the best one to do that.
I mean, are they nothing like that? Like, is there no chance that interest rates will be higher in like 5 to 7 years?
Well, they're adjustable rate mortgages, right? So your mortgage adjusts with the interest rate. So, like, what was the interest rate in 2000? Like, is he talking about?
It may be just like the regulations and structure, which, I mean, that could be true, but if Trump doesn't.
Well, yeah, because a lot of that changed in 2008.
Yeah. Right. And it's not like you can have the whole, what was it, like no income, no job type of loan anymore. Yeah. Like, so I think that's probably the biggest difference. You can't get like 5 of these without having a job anymore.
I have 5. I'm a stripper with 5 condos, all of them mortgaged out.
Exactly.
So our last 2 things is 2 lawsuits.
What did he say? The ones like in 2000? Is that what he said?
Yeah, in 2000. The arms are different.
See, I wasn't even in mortgage in 2000, so I can't really answer that. So he just said, I'm looking it up. It just says that they're more secure today due to stricter lending rules, longer initial fixed rate periods, and caps that limit how much the rate can rise after the initial period.
Okay.
Arms in 2000 often had shorter fixed rate periods, less stringent underwriting, fewer protections, which led to high default rates that contributed to the 2008 financial crisis. So yeah.
So before we move on, the 2 lawsuits really quick.
Stricter regulations.
We're getting what we expected, Amy, in the justice.
Oh, your boss? Lawsuit. Oh, sorry. I thought it was your boss, Michael Bloomberg.
Oh no. Well, I mean, they're the defendant, which is why we're promoting it here.
Well, we've got to support the boss. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to go over it too much, other than to say that there is a motion to dismiss, like we predicted would happen, because this lawsuit was kind of bullshit. So
I mean, they didn't get this information under false pretenses. You gave it to them.
Yeah, and then tried to dictate terms after you gave it to them.
Right. Yeah.
And then we do have. I haven't gotten some of the documents. Unfortunately, my Pacer bill this quarter was kind of pricey, so I don't think I'll be getting these documents.
I mean, so was Ocelot's. Like, I am happy to help you guys. Like, I offered Ocelot.
Some of them I'm going to get called back for it. I'm going to dispute because it didn't download and I got charged for it. And they told me I had to wait till the bill arrived before then I could dispute it. But yeah, it's kind of over $200.
Oh my. He was like, he posted he woke up today to a big thing, and I was like, what is happening?
We should all share our Pacer bills one of these quarters and just be like,
right.
Here's how much I spent because I'm addicted to finding court documents, and the federal government charges me on like some of these state courts that'll just give them to me for free. But basically on your Lululemon lawsuit, we do have some motions to strike the affirmative defenses of the defendant from Lululemon, and an answer to the complaint and counterclaim filed by the plaintiff because the defendants filed counterclaims against them. So,
well, I'll have them know that I purchased some new Lululemon shorts on Sunday. I did not get them from Costco, so maybe just shut up. Quit crying about it.
Quit crying. Quit your crying.
I mean, if I could, I would get them.
We're also coming to Lululemon, so just shut up. And by the way, like, then I went to Athleta right after that. Like, the shorts are not that different. Like,
they're exactly the same.
Right. So we're getting to our meme stock section, but I wanted to bring up a nice transition video if it'll load back in. Hello, YouTube. Come on. If you would. That's how I feel sometimes dealing with YouTube videos.
That's how I feel sometimes dealing with meme stock. Shit.
Okay, so there, we finally got it going. I'm not going to play the video, but bink. So do you guys watch In the Money?
Yep. Yeah, it's platinum.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up.
What does that mean? Creates your own Great Depression? I don't understand.
So, okay, I'm not going to play the whole video because but I can break down his argument. His big thing that he is talking about here is that if you're smart, don't do VTI because you can get more market exposure from something like QQQ, get the same diversity and be just fine, or something like that that get you a better return. You can do your own.
But QQQ is not the whole market.
The same diversity whatsoever.
Yeah, the VTI is the whole market.
His whole thing is that people who choose VTI are people who got burned in the market for being stupid, and they retreat to VTI as a retreat because they were doing stupid things, which to a certain
extent, you can do both.
People is true.
Platinum, I think Platinum's going to feel attacked.
That's why I wanted to bring this up, because I wanted a discussion. Do you want me to play the video? I can play the video, and we can. Let's play the video, and then we'll let Platinum. Like, I want to bring this up because I knew it would be a good discussion. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with his argument, but I get what he's saying to a certain extent.
And over the last year, not too bad.
Okay.
Wow, VTI is up 9% over the last year. Not too bad. If you're a coward, listen, I can't judge. But what I do see is people burning themselves on zero-day expiration options, maybe weekly options.
What are these eyes?
I know, why are his eyes so green?
And then they go.
We're all so distracted.
I don't trust him. Immediately off the rip, I don't trust him. That's not.
I like it.
That's not homemade.
No, those are contacts.
I like, he's one of the people, like, when I first got in post COVID, of like, after the GameStop thing happened, this was one of the people I learned about and learned to wheel trading from. So I like In the Money. That doesn't mean that I always agree with him, but
falling to the safest thing they can find. And VTI is one of those things. It's an ETF that basically packs in as many stocks as possible, so you bring your risk down to basically the market risk. So people get torched, they run to VTI. In fact, there's a phrase out there called VTI and chill, which is like Netflix and chill, except for you don't get laid. You just buy VTI, and since you can't handle volatility, you just enjoy the risk of the entire stock market. Oh, but you can't outperform the stock market, so why try? Hedge funds fail all the time, right? So buy VTI. Just get market risk. You're exposing yourself. 9% is not that bad. Sure, I can get 4.5% in Robinhood, but 9% while exposing myself to the market, I'll take that. Maybe by retirement, I'll have 600,000. That's solid. I might not be able to afford a home, but at least I can get Chipotle once a week. I mean, what is the alternative? You go digging through all the ratios and the fundamentals of stocks to figure out what's undervalued and what's not.
Huh?
That's so mean.
I mean, like YouTube.
I'm feeling very protective of Platt right now.
Okay.
Not? I get it though. Like, you can't go digging through all the financial ratios. Financial jargon is just chloroform in print. It's terrible. So you go digging through the ratios and it doesn't even matter because it's completely public. It's transparent to everybody. That's where the efficient market hypothesis actually makes sense. It comes into play because this information is public to everybody for people who can go past the PE ratio. So that excludes me. So if it's available to everybody and if people are willing to dig into the companies to price that in, it's going to be naturally priced in. So there's no point in searching for a company that's undervalued by using ratios. It's already available to the public.
I want to get on the record that I despise.
Do you have this at like 1x speed? I mean,
1.5.
Okay.
I want to get on the record that
he's talking so fast with his weird eyeballs.
Yeah, no. I want to put on the record that I think the efficient market theory is taken to illogical conclusions, and I think is kind of highly overrated. Anyone else want to come along with me on that? Nobody? Okay. I'll be on my own train.
Therefore, it should already be priced in. Okay, so if you can't find an undervalued stock and make...
sorry, what was that, Amy?
I think the whole stock market's highly overrated, so...
a return that outperforms the market in your portfolio, then why not just buy VTI? Why not a total market fund? Let's go even crazier. How about 10-year treasuries? Or fuck it, just burn your money. So here's the truth. The biggest edge retail investors have is lived experience. For example, do you eat Chipotle once a week and is it pretty packed in there? Well, there's a stock for that. Do you DoorDash Chipotle because you're too hungover to even walk to your car? There's a stock for that. Do you have an NVIDIA GPU in your computer? There's a stock for that. AMD CPU, there's a stock for that. How about all the chips that are used when you go crying to your online AI therapist like I do? There's a stock for that. Even the company that owns YouTube that you're watching me through right now, there's a stock for that. Really, Peter Lynch came up with this idea that the biggest edge retail investors have is their own lived experience, their experience in their industry or sector, and their experience of just being out there in the world, while these people in financial institutions are so wrapped up in everything that's above the shoulders mustard shit that they can't even fathom what real life actually even is. I mean, you go to New York, everybody in New York thinks New York is everywhere. I told one chick I was from Idaho, she asked if that was near Kentucky. Do you think people...
I mean, some people in America...
That's just stupid.
That is, but there's a lot of people like that.
Near Kentucky?
I think she was thinking Ohio. Anyway.
People that are in financial institutions really care about what's going on around them. No, they care about the numbers, and that's why they fucking suck. And when someone tells you you can't beat the market, it's because you're chasing garbage tickers that nobody's ever heard of, like POOP, which is obviously a joke. I mean, it could exist. I have no idea. I haven't looked it up. But let's not forget that PP was a real thing. All right, thanks, me, Kevin, and also thank you for taking it down. So they get burnt, and they run to VTI because some YouTuber said 57% of tech stocks dropped by 70% or more between the periods of 1980 and 2020 and never recovered. What a scary statistic. But does it take into account the dot-com bubble, where everybody was buying every single stock that ended in .net? eToys, Pets.com, doesn't matter. There were some winners, Amazon, for example. But what that overview does is it excludes the fact that you have a brain and you're not buying all tech, you're buying certain stocks for certain reasons. Now, the bubble was a bubble for a reason, people are idiots, but I assume you're better than that. Is that a safe assumption? However, since VTI's inception in 2001, QQQ has beat it by over 600 percentage points. That's an over 1,000% return just by buying QQQ. Are you scared of that much volatility? Really? And you can look me square in the face and tell me I can't beat VTI in the long term when you can just buy it.
I think.
But that's his basic argument, is that if you're smart, you don't need VTI. You have any response?
All the stocks.
I mean, it's safe. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the stocks he named are in VTI.
Well, every stock is in VTI.
Not every single stock. There's 3,500 stocks in there, and all the ones that he named are in there. And you could also do both. You could do VTI and QQQ. No one's going to stop you.
There are stock picks I have in my portfolio, and then I have VOO.
Yeah.
Look, I think that's single stocks are not for everyone.
Technology makes up 36% of VTI anyways.
There are plenty of just like passive index fund investors that do just
because unlike us, they're not obsessed and they just want to be able to buy something that they can just set in their portfolio.
Right, and not watch the market every single day and like freak out over some
crazy people. We are crazy.
Everybody
people.
has different risk tolerance. Like some people, like they can't even they look at their portfolios like once a month.
But I do
like they're not sitting there looking at the stock market every single day. So I mean, like I think it's
I do get
to group everybody in and just say, well, you're cowards if you buy VTI.
Well, you also have to understand his audience is option traders.
Which I do that every day. I trade options every day, and I also hold VTI. You can do it all.
Yeah,
I just think
I get though, like while not agreeing with the sentiment, I do get where he's coming from to a certain extent because I agree with the sentiment that a certain non-small percentage of people who do VTI. I mean, we've recommended it to these people. If you can't, it's like telling the alcoholic or the drug addict,
don't buy a
maybe get off the smack, and so I get where the sentiment comes from. If you're buying VTI, you're kind of a coward because you can't control your stupid behaviors. And to a certain extent, for a certain amount of them, yeah, because they probably shouldn't have a self-actuating portfolio.
Yes. Right. Also, what's the problem with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with having a safe investment in your portfolio.
When you first kind of jump into the market,
especially
most people don't really jump into VTI because they don't even know what it is, right? So it's like it does kind of take a minute.
And even then, most people know VOO. That's usually the thing that's in their 401k, not VTI.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's some inherent problems also with VOO that it's become very top heavy, where the top 10 companies in VTI make up most of the gains. I mean, not VTI, but VOO make up most of the gains, whereas VTI it's a little more dispersed because you have much more diversity, which means that you have a lot less sometimes upside, but also a little bit more controlled downside risk.
Well, and you get a divvy.
That was like
every quarter.
Other stock.
Well, we're going to speaking of divvies, we want to talk about dividends.
Are we going to talk about warrant dividends?
And we're going to talk about some things, but to be the lead into it, we got to talk about our favorite person when we're usually talking about GameStop. I'm going to speed this up because we're going to talk about dividends in general with this as a lead-in, because I think we need to dispel and talk about dividends, their upsides and their downsides. What?
Oh no, I yawned, and I think that made Amy yawn, so I was apologizing.
Oh my gosh, like you were just
look.
Warner
yawning
Brothers
is a disease.
Warner Brothers.
It can be spread.
Warner Brothers is said to rebuff Paramount takeover approach.
Ooh.
Oh boy, here we go.
Basically, 4-day gap in between October 3rd and October 7th. While it is over the weekend, it still matters because there is a giant liquidity gap. The market is always forward-looking. It's always pricing in the future of what is going to be happening.
So this is, I can't see because it's cut off by Marantz's logo, but he's responding to someone talking about GameStop and the GameStop warrants. And what he's about to talk about is the effect of the dividend on the share price. And then we're going to get something very stupid, as we are to expect from Marantz, about that.
As these warrants, dividends, cash, as these news events come in. So if there is a gap in between the time where the value of the warrants, which is derived from GME Common, doesn't...
It is not derived from GME Common.
It absolutely is!
100%.
A warrant is the future purchase of a stock at a future date at a future price. It's sensibly.
If it wasn't based on GME Common, they wouldn't be.
Well, what is it based on?
Be able to execute them at $32 stock price. Like, how is it not based on?
Is he going to get into what it is based on, or?
Well, let's see.
And the timing of delivery is date of record versus delivery is literally one trading day. It's the weekend, kid. You mean to buy tomorrow? By Monday, I'm so sorry. Monday, that's the day. That's the day we all need to worry about. When is this thing getting delivered? On Tuesday. So you have one trading day to do whatever.
Yeah, but people are going to price that in. They're going to price in the value and the likelihood that, this potential dilution, let's be honest here, might happen, which is going to take away value from the stock because you have the same assets, but more, like that's going to take away from the price. Potentially, depending on if it gets within price to exercise, or maybe some idiots are going to exercise their warrants before
they are. That's what I'm saying. It's already happening. I saw a tweet from somebody who's been like, I guess, watching the share count like a hawk, and it's already gone up by like 300,000.
But these warrants are derived from GameStop in the same way that a normal dividend is derived from the balance sheet of GameStop. If GameStop, instead of paying out a warrant, paid out a cash dividend, that's money coming off the balance sheet, which would again affect the price. But
it's a warrant. I mean, it's basically just here, buy the stock at $32. Like that's what I get. It's weird that they even called it a dividend, but okay.
Yeah, that's that.
I mean, you don't get anything. Like, you still have to pay for the.
Well, you can sell it and get free money.
Yeah, you can sell it. True. For what is it? What are they trading at? $3?
It was like so it was $4. I think it was like 3 something the last time I looked.
Okay. Cool. But yeah.
So yes, you can. You're right. You can sell it for whatever it's trading for.
Like every dividend in some way comes from the value of the core asset from which it was derived. If it's a cash dividend, then it's coming off the balance sheet. It's going to affect the price. If it's a warrant dividend, then it's potential value of future shares. If it's the ape dividend, well, then it just fucks everybody.
That's what I think he's freaking out about. I think he's freaking out because a lot of people are like.
Well, he talks about this later about how it's different, yeah, true, it is.
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
It's not a preferred share that's gonna double the share count.
And they didn't split the stock. They didn't split the stock to give it fake value so it can trade.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
It is. It's a lot different. But I think maybe that's what he's freaking out about. But
yeah.
The amount of people who don't know that like new shares are issued when you exercise your warrant is pretty scary.
Well, whatever. Okay. I was gonna ask where do they think the share comes from, but like, who cares?
From the shorts. Duh.
Oh, okay.
Are we at the point where he's getting so self-aware about his brother calling him out that he decides to put the "I'm a special boy from the military" plaque in the background of his set?
What do you mean from the military? That's a YouTube thing.
No. This.
What does that say?
Oh, what? I can't even see what it
says. SPC Rico Marantz for being selected as the 8th Military Police Brigade Soldier of the Year, 2003.
Was his brother in the military?
Yeah, but this is him.
Is it Rico, his brother?
Rico, last name, Marantz.
That's his last name.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Remember, this is the Rico brothers.
What's his brother's name?
Rico and Marantz Rico.
Yes, his brother's name is Rico.
Oh, yeah, that's right. His brother's name is Rico.
Just like the Super Mario brothers would be Mario and Luigi Mario.
God.
Okay. Anyway.
We got a couple more.
Yeah, like when you sent me that, I was looking at it and I was like, Sean, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like he's pointing at his YouTube thing.
Well, that's what he's pointing out. I was pointing at a different thing.
I thought you were losing it. I was like, what?
No. This one's interesting because everything's about how NVIDIA is a scam. So even taking advice from questionable sources.
You know, OpenAI and everyone doing these chips. Now watch this with this guy right here. This is the IONQ.
Where have we heard about
IONQ that is from? A scam
IONQ from Martin Shkreli.
Martin Shkreli, yeah.
One of these quantum computing like science fair project companies.
Yeah, scam.
Which should tell you what is about to follow might be bullshit.
CEO,
oh my God,
what he says about NVIDIA.
Isn't the IONQ CEO the only one that's
promoting
being
it because it confirms a narrative he has about NVIDIA.
Okay.
You know, OpenAI and everyone doing these chips. Now watch this with this guy right here. This is the IONQ CEO, what he says about NVIDIA's GPUs becoming irrelevant by 2027.
Maybe even 2 million qubits in 2030. And that will allow us to solve problems that classical GPUs couldn't even solve if they had the known age of the universe to try and compute it.
So the Blackwell chip is going to look aged and dated in that scenario in the 2030s when you've got millions of QPUs.
It's going to look dated a lot sooner than that. I think by 27 we'll have 10,000 qubits in our chip in partnership with our new friends at Oxford Ionics. Yeah. And honestly, that will wipe the floor, if you will, with any other supercomputer that exists on Earth.
Well, you talked about.
Yeah, big if true. Second of all, if there is going to be some sort of like thing that Martin Shkreli has pointed out with all these companies, if there's going to be some quantum computing thing, it's going to be coming from these larger companies that are also doing the same thing, like Google. You know, like it's the same IBM problem. It's the same problem when I look at things like the weed space, where there's a bunch of all these little scammy shitcos all trying to be the weed company, and eventually 90% of them are going to die out. You know, so it's like that's the problem I have with this, and that's assuming that quantum computing is the big thing they're all saying it is, and I don't know. This one, before we move on to dealing, well, we got two more things here. First, I think this one is kind of funny. Just it's kind of like below the belt, but not as below the belt as to like. Oh, I gotta unmute it.
These for retail things that and I'm talking about GameStop, guys. They have integrated new technologies for retail, things that I've never seen before in my life, that I was not aware of, but we'll show it to you right now. This is what GameStop is doing. If you live under a rock, you don't know. You might be not in the beta. But
that's actually interesting. I didn't realize IBM was in computing.
Shkreli posts about the jobs that they have going on all the time, and IBM always has over 4,000 jobs going at a time, and then he lists IONQ, Rigetti, and one other one, and they're always 4-0
while running their computer science fair project out of their mother's basement, kind of thing.
Yeah,
he I think posted the 4 different sites for all the 4 of these shitco quantum companies and the offices they run out.
Oh, their headquarters. Yeah, that too.
This is GameStop, their new website.
Yeah, we've seen this. We played
This is the Power Pack website.
Yes. That's good fun.
It's my computer lagging, not it.
Maybe he needs a NVIDIA GPU.
Hey.
You do too. It's true.
Shut up. I'm going to get an Intel one. I'm going to support the well, it was the competition until they bought into it. Damn it. I can't escape.
All right, do that. Pump my bags.
Yeah, pump my bags.
Because I have some Intel bags still.
But like, no offense, like the Power Packs thing seems cool. It could potentially be very good for GameStop, but
yeah,
you know, if you're glowing over that, like, are you distracted? Are you easily amused by like freaking
some sort of revenue stream? Yes, we are. Mm-hmm.
No, I was talking about like the Flash animations from the early 2000s. Does that easily like make your brain?
Yes. It's something.
Any sort of revenue stream will work.
Yes, give me that revenue, please. Yes.
I'm not going to play this whole thing, but I think it's funny. Did you know that we
called Nancy Pelosi a hypocrite on the issue, but he has absolutely no interest in doing anything about bribery or corruption in government because he does corrupt bribes all the time.
You think he actually takes bribes?
Yeah.
Look who's reaching out to be a MAGA grifter on the side.
What is he saying? Who takes bribes?
I think he's talking about Trump, and then saying that Marantz is complaining about, like, you know, Nancy Pelosi, burr, and her trading stuff, and he's like, but you know, you got all these other people who are, but like they're like, this was posted by Hannah Reloaded to Meltdown, but like this is an entire 10-minute clip where Marantz is debating with someone. So he's reaching out. He may not be he may not be long for the meme stock world if he gets his wish, I guess. I don't know. Though this should bring us to our next segment.
Oh Lord.
We're gonna have
what a confusing day.
Platinum. We're gonna have Platinum be our GameStop customer service rep as we talk about GameStop warrants and other silly.
They should just make an AI agent to deal with all these calls.
Okay.
That'll automatically.
So our first one is from Baggy Spencer. Were you aware of this situation, Platinum?
Gee golly. I mean, if anyone listened to my... Oh, well, actually, this, I think, was a glitch, right? And then they fixed it afterwards?
Yes, they did.
All right. Because what I
made fun of him immediately after, in all caps as well, saying, oh my God, JP Morgan Chase said that there was a glitch and they're already fixing the problem.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Well, I didn't think it was a glitch at first because one of the things I mentioned and like I did like a short little space about the warrants and I said that, you know, some brokers will probably give you cash in lieu and that what that means is they're going to liquidate the warrants and give you whatever cash. And so that's what I thought was happening here, but it turns out it was just a glitch.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Oh God. Bam.
It's a little different. This is less customer service help and more. I think Brian Cohen's a shitty CEO. I guess if I'm reading it right. Do you think I'm reading it right?
I don't know. Where's the vibrations here? What's happening?
So he's saying this might piss off some GME MOAS believers, but here's my take. Vlad removed the buy button to screw retail, but Cohen removed the melt up button when he opted to become the next Warren Buffett. What? No argument that the stock is a great piggy bank and that it moves up higher, but he sure did retail dirty when he created this thick trading range.
What does that mean?
Like Gordon Gekko said, if you want a friend, get a dog.
What? Okay, sure. Whatever.
Yeah, sure. Next.
Very scary.
I don't know. Like, a lot of people in the tech community, at least from my listening to the ones that I do, like Gamers Nexus, they definitely do because they thought he was more visionary, a more aggressive future for Intel, whereas the current CEO is a little bit more conservative minded. So I guess in that aspect, yeah, sure, certainly. But Intel is also dealing with some pretty serious financial issues. So I can understand pulling back on the reins and doing things that are more reasonable. But I agree that Pat leaving, I think, took a lot of that initiative out of the company. I think it's too early to tell if I miss Pat Gelsinger, but I think it would have been if the financial situation was better, I think Pat would have been the better CEO. I don't know if either of you guys have any opinion on that. Okay, we'll go with that.
No, I don't.
Okay. So next one, KC Shaw, AMC baggy extraordinaire. This is about to get very scary for anyone short rehypothecating GME shares. At this point, it would take $184 million to buy all the warrants issued, essentially cornering the warrant market. Anyone know anyone with $184 million? Yeah, a lot of companies.
I mean, so you buy all the warrants and then what?
Yeah, and then what? So you get 59 million shares? Congratulations.
Well, then you exercise them all? Like what?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
hello?
That's not a lot of money. I think what they're suggesting is like what company that's short could buy back all that money. And it's like for a lot of companies, like 184 million is like that's a lot to us. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of money.
No, they're saying essentially cornering the warrant market.
Yeah, why though?
That's I know. Like I don't think that's what they're saying. Noisy. I think they're saying
but
like
they need those to cover, guys.
I don't know. Like, are they equating it to like owning the float? Like I don't.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but you won't.
Well, not owning the float.
It's only
but like
59 million shares.
I think it's like, they have to buy these back to cover, and that's a lot of money.
But they don't. The company's going to issue so you can go spend $184 million, get 59 million shares. Well, you could actually spend less than that to buy 59 million shares right now because the stock's only trading at $25.
Right.
But
so you spend $184 million to buy the warrants, and then you spend $1.9 billion to exercise them. Like, I don't understand whatever.
And what are you? I mean, like the company's just going to issue new shares.
59 million shares.
Right.
So they have them set aside.
Like you're not accomplishing anything. It's just like I swear, like there's just no thought. They're like nobody. They just say shit.
Robin Hood turned off the buy button again. This one I didn't know about. Do you know anything?
I can't see what that says.
The New York Stock Exchange certifies its approval for listing the registration of warrants.
Okay, that's what I thought it said. What does that have to do with?
I don't know. We have a lot of hints here as to why this is dumb.
What does he say? I hope you don't.
That's
what?
Peng. That's Peng.
I hope you don't have options in GME.
What?
Why? Did they? Could you not buy GME? I like the warrants in GME. Like,
Okay.
I mean, like, what did they turn the buy button off on? GME?
This one is less.
It was the options, I think, because they were changing the
changed
options
them
to
over,
have non-standard options and then standard options.
GME
blah, blah, blah.
one, right? Yeah.
And so I think you like for a little bit during the day, it was like super illiquid, so it was hard to sell or whatever. I don't know.
This one is less baggy tech support. I don't know if you read this one.
Well, on the morning of the AMD rip, like, I mean, many of my brokers went down. Like, it's like shit happens, guys. Like the market is dynamic, right? Like nobody expected AMD to go up 20-something% in pre-market, and all the brokers were fucking.
All right, I just kind of
down.
scanned it, and it seems like another pretty reasonable Trader Zero post, basically saying like this is not going to cause your magical short squeeze.
Well, of course not.
Yeah.
Tony De Niro told whoever was talking about the warrant squeeze.
Warrant squeeze.
Yeah.
We're back to baggy Spence again. The big squeeze. And everything squeezes except meme stocks for the last 6 months. that's a solid indicator that the macro. Oh my God!
Is he talking about HYMC?
Pretend it's macroeconomic.
Is he talking about HYMC anymore, or did he get rid of his HYMC when he was?
Well, he likes like I've noticed that there's no mention of him being an AMC, HYMC, getting margin called on Riley. Any
What
of that
was
stuff.
he? What
He's
is?
just
What was
GameStop now. You go look at his.
What he said was some TMF. He was talking about how TMF was going to pump.
He doesn't
3X
talk about
levered.
that anymore. He's like trying to pretend that he's been GameStop this whole time, kind of like a lot of people do when they get burned in these other meme stocks. They all run back to GameStop. I'm sure you've seen a lot of those people, Platinum.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention like that.
Now all Spence talks about is GameStop because he knows it gets him engagement. So, gold, silver, bank stocks, the big seven, streaming services like Netflix, social media services like Facebook, all hitting new extreme all-time highs. Meanwhile, GameStop has been absolutely abused. I mean, it's a retail company. Why are you comparing? You're comparing like assets to like financial equity stocks and then tech stocks to a retail store. Like this is oranges to apples comparison.
And it looks like, is he using AI for this? What's with the M dash in the last thing there?
Of course he is.
Yeah, but like you need whatever. Okay.
Entire market has been playing this for years. Pumps trillions. $9 billion in cash. Oh, Jesus Christ. 900 million plus in Bitcoin. Okay. And
well, at least he admits there's debt down there, so that's
He seems to confuse zero interest and not understanding that there's also potential dilution in there.
You mean zero coupon?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's zero interest, sure.
Okay. Oh, this is not tech support. This is just, oh dear God.
I can't see that either. What's their cost basis?
Their cost basis, it looks like $379.
Oof.
113,000. What's it at right now?
Doing pretty good.
It is. Is it higher than 379?
No.
Oh boy.
Last I checked, it wasn't. I mean, it obviously could get higher, but
well, he was up like 60%, but not so much now.
Why is the 401k letting them buy warrants?
Well, the way they make it sound like is it was a glitch because they can't even buy GME.
I guess they hadn't had enough time to put the restriction on it, is what they're saying. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, good luck.
Maybe it's there for a reason, for you to not be able to buy highly speculative stocks.
Not even a stock, just like an instrument. Like,
yeah.
Good luck with that, dude.
Here we are. Exercising warrants early.
Yikes.
Did you see my post with this? From the guy who said, oh, here, I'm going to find it. You can talk about, I mean, it included this post, but go ahead.
No, I talk about it.
Day one, I was like, guaranteed people are going to be exercising them before it even gets to 32.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you almost can count on it. But this guy was telling me, hold on, let me find it. I gotta look. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, did he just walk away? Because I gotta share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
we'll just tell us what you're sharing. Well, what is it?
So someone replied to me. I just put it over there. Let's see. Someone, progressive libertarian posted a Travis screenshot that said, I bought some GME warrants, not shares on Robinhood, forcing Citadel to go looking for them. Ain't much. Consider these like options. And I said, imagine not understanding that the company has to issue new shares when a warrant is exercised. I said, Citadel does not have to look for any damn thing. And Joe Says not a single person would exercise their warrants at $32 when they can buy the stock for $24. The dilution will only happen when GME is well over 32. Is that Sonny?
Yeah, I can.
Here. I just
can show
do
it.
the share screen share.
Boom.
So
why did it? There you go.
Yeah. So he says not a single person would exercise their warrants 32.
You're underestimating idiocy, my friend.
Yeah. So I go, not a single person, eh? And I posted this guy, and he was like, what did Joe say? He actually was pretty cool about it. He said, "Oh wow, why would anyone pay 32 when they could purchase for 24? That's weird." I stand corrected. I should have said very few will do this.
You underestimate the idiocy that's going on here.
Not a single one, huh?
There are idiots out there.
I actually don't think this guy's an idiot. I think he has a ton of warrants.
No, I'm talking about Baggy Travis.
Yeah.
The idiots like
that.
Oh,
yeah. But that guy, the person we were showing there, like, I actually don't, he wanted to just see the process, according to him. Just wanted to see the process of, like, exercising a warrant. So he, like, went through the process of doing it. He has, like, a ton. So I think he only, like, executed, like, 10 in one account and 10 in the other.
Right.
But he just wanted to see, like, you know.
What does it look like?
Yeah, like, what happens.
It's just like exercising a call, more or less.
I'm like, well, you pay the...
Except there's a
price. You pay the $320, and
then you get your share.
The company will issue new shares, and then you get your shares at $32.
Thank you for diluting. Appreciate it.
I mean, does that raise your cost basis though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
More or less.
I mean, it's gotta, because I'm pretty sure if you exercise options, that is also adjust your cost basis. So yeah.
Like that's.
So we have another thing, and I know you can't. Let me see if I can enlarge it, but you can't. This is from the disclosures on the 10K. Baggy Sal here is trying to say that this warning that says volatility in our common stock price, including volatility due to potential short squeezes, as being a risk factor for owning GameStop.
It's been there since 21. That same exact risk has been there since 2021.
And he's trying to say that it's a warning to short sellers. No, like a 10K is for investors. Dipshit.
I mean, this is like when they thought that the going concern about short squeezes causing elevated prices, and that you could be buying it at artificially inflated prices, meant that the stock was going to short squeeze.
Right.
And that was going to be good for, like, sure, they're going to list it as a going concern, as something that's good for you. It's perfect logic.
Yeah. What's the next one here? Yes. A disclosure basically saying that they have no current plans for any sort of I feel like that had to be put in there because there's been so much speculation around, what could GameStop be doing with all this money? Hell, we've been part of that discussion of like what we think would be cool if with this whole cache of money, because generally companies don't, especially of this size, don't leave that much money on their balance sheet doing fucking nothing. But they're saying there are no current plans, commitments, or arrangements to make any acquisitions or investments.
I mean, do you think they put that in there for that reason, or do you think they put that in there because
to dissuade baggies from basically
BBBYQ still thinks that they're going to acquire an empty
that's under that umbrella, I think, of we're not doing anything, guys. We're not buying PSA. We're not buying up Bed Bath & Beyond. We're not,
Bed Bath & Beyond is not for sale. Marcus Lamone owns it.
Don't ruin the fun. What do you think about, speaking of chart crimes, we were talking about pegging the S&P to gold.
Oh.
What about this chart of GME's price compared to Bitcoin and the difference between them?
What the hell?
Hey, I've got one thing to deflate the problems here. What do you think it is that I'm thinking? Why would Bitcoin's price be different than GameStop's price?
Trump?
It has other assets besides Bitcoin and other liabilities other than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. They have a small position of Bitcoin that makes up their assets.
Okay.
That's why it's different. Duh.
Like, you can't ask us to solve baggy riddles on the spot. I mean, we need moments to think about it.
I know, it's like 11:14 p.m., okay?
Can't just spring it on us like that.
Okay, fair enough. What about this?
Oh my god.
Yet another reason not to DRS.
By check? Who has checks?
Or
Money
wire
order
transfer.
works.
I mean,
I don't have checks. Do y'all have checks?
I don't either. I do money orders if I need one.
I have checks. I'll send you one.
You carry one of the big wallets so you can keep your checkbook in it?
Yeah, I'm balancing my checkbook right after this.
I gotta make sure I write it down in my ledger. I'm gonna balance it.
Alrighty.
Minus to Amy.
So we're going to move on from GameStop to our next meme stock. And we have a shareholders meeting.
What
was the big thing from the
for 1 billion shares again, aren't
1.1. They want to raise the authorized share count to.
Where was that?
Or limit to 1.1 billion.
Which Adam Aaron already said that they were going to have to do that in
because
the last
of
annual
the
meeting. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah, because they'd offered all of these convertible notes.
Oh, they're stoked.
We need some money.
Yeah, that's the thing that's crazy about this is like.
Did you see Chris Loika's reply?
Why don't you go dig that up, because I didn't put it on here because I had quite a bit of tabs going, but he was getting clippity clappity at you for basically making fun of him.
I mean, I was pretty nice about it. Like I didn't even say anything. I mean, I could have said a lot worse. We'll leave it at that. Okay. Let's see. So, all right, I'll just send this.
Why?
So I said, Chris Loika better get to work selling AMC apes on how great it's going to be when the OS is 1.1 billion. Right? That's all I said, which is pretty tame, like for me anyway, especially talking to him. So he had a
big meltdown about that.
Yeah. We can go to I don't even want to try to find it. Never mind. We don't need to see the rest of it. But yeah, so he just said,
can you
learn how to tag people on Twitter, you chunky little piggy. Bring that market cap down. Make those shares nice and cheap. Reduce the debt simultaneously. How's your boy Dougie Large doing? Oh, womp womp. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. And he said some more dumb shit after that. He's got me blocked. And
do you guys have problems searching for him? Because I'm not blocked by him.
Oh, I've never searched.
I can't search for him. Some other people said he pulls up in church fine, but I'm wondering if he's shadow banned. Which would make sense considering if you go to his timeline, it's not hard to see why.
I don't know if he actually replied to this, but I just said, you have me blocked, pussy. So Doug's doing fantastic. We were just laughing at y'all yesterday. Keep giving people the absolute worst financial advice, bitch shits.
And everyone was bullish about this except for a handful of people. I don't get it. How much more of this?
I don't think anybody came to his defense here. I'm trying to remember. No, they didn't. Nobody came to defend him. But they all were on his post and they were like, is she still talking about this?
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Because y'all are fucking
why
idiots.
Wouldn't you talk about this? They're trying to raise it to and guess what's going to
happen
after
the amount of authorizable
1.1 billion shares? Guess what happens next?
Well, and the best part about it is since the
change split.
That could have been the option, but I guess they're just going to up the authorized shares.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, they need to do that first.
What comes after 1.1 billion shares?
They first need to do that. Then they do an ATM. Then they do a reverse split. You heard it here first.
So,
but that's and what do you think they're going to be able to sell for? Because institutions they're not going to touch this thing. The rule of 5, they're not buying this shit. So like, I don't even know who you're going to sell it to. I mean, you're going to end up in a situation like with Antera when they were buying it, they were like, okay, we'll give you 66 cents. So like, who's going to buy this?
I also appreciate more shares because it decreases the volatility in the stock. And I can just go back to doing what I was doing about this time last year, where I just take a small AMC short position. And since the stock just trades sideways all the time, I can just arbitrage the spread between the federal funds rate and the cost to borrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the cost to borrow? Like
less than, it's like basis points. It's less than 1%. Last I checked.
Are you going to go long did you go long the bonds, short the shares, long the bonds before?
I didn't get in time to go long the bonds, or I would have at those tasty price. When our group did that, Amy, remember when they were talking about, I should have gone in and with them because they made mad money.
Well, this was it. This was the response that was great to my.
I mean, if this doesn't get approved, the bonds are going to tank. And
yes, yeah.
Like, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, this was the response that I loved. This guy, he said, Toots have to bounce AMC to $25 to $45 to get out. Even that is when I will bail too and never touch this shit again. I was like, if you still believe that shorts are somehow stuck in AMC, you're in for a real bad time, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, I just can't. Like, what are you saying?
You poor summer child.
Yeah. Do people really still believe this? Like, they've been saying this all the way down, right? The shorts are stuck at $2.50. The shorts are stuck at $3. The shorts are stuck at blah, blah, blah. Like, there are no shorts stuck in AMC, bro. The shorts are the only ones who have made money in AMC.
We even got people congratulating each other in the back. We got Bloss Blunts congratulating the guy that said, I said no back in 2021. Well, that was my mistake. Now I'm voting yes.
Oh, yeah. I saw that guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll never vote no again.
Is he going to be on one of the videos now? Like just his forehead on like one of those creepy videos?
Well, Boss Blunts was in the video.
Here he was. Okay.
I was even making fun of, I took some shots at our good friend, number one, Cuck, for his like stupidity, because he was talking about how, his normal lines, as soon as this hit, Adam Aaron committed fraud, burr, and all that stuff. And first of all, I called citation needed on that. And then he had another post where I was basically explaining, like, I've said this is the beginning. You all bought into an insolvent company and are shocked when they do funding operations to finance their debt. You've known this since COVID. The AMC has been upside down, and you keep buying like fucking idiots.
Also, it doesn't mean share issuance today. It means the ability to issue shares when it's advantageous. Okay, first of all, if it does get approved, it'll be, in my opinion, less than 30 days before they do an ATM offering.
Because they need the money. They're still not profitable.
How much cash do they have left on their book?
I can pull that up. Give me 1 second.
Because we know it's costing them, we'll just say roughly 200 mil, right? A quarter to run it. 160 maybe. I don't know. I think they've cut it down a little bit, but not drastically. They burn cash like crazy.
Come on.
I think last time we looked at it, which I can't really remember when, they had about a 6-month
let's
runway.
go quarterly.
Right.
So June 2025, their balance sheet showed 1.4 billion. Oh wait, no, this is income. 1.4 billion in revenue, and they lost 4 million. So I mean, that's not horrible.
No, how much cash do they have? That's not their cash.
How much cash do they have?
Right. I just wanted to get what they have. They have a little under 500 million. So like they've got some runway.
So I think the last time we looked at this, we concluded they had about a 6-month runway. So now they're probably down to about a 4-month runway, right?
So I mean, this is their best quarter usually. This June here, it looks like, because you look back here, the last time that's September, so June. Yeah, they were burning so these next 2 quarters are their best quarters.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I bet like Thanksgiving and Christmas time, when everything's closed.
So summer and then holiday season are their best. So next quarter they might turn a profit. Maybe, it depends. but their previous 2 quarters the same year, they lost 200 and 300. So you can expect somewhere maybe in that neighborhood for the next 2 quarters. So Q1 and Q2.
They
and
lost
their balance
200.
sheet
So that's right.
shows.
So they're burning like 200 a quarter, right?
So we can expect probably around May next year they might start offering shares again, depending on their financial situation.
No, because Adam Aaron doesn't wait.
Well, they do it beforehand, so they may do it start of next year.
He won't wait until
Q1.
the coffers are empty to do it. He'll do it.
So come the new year, if things are not really improving, they may just do that. So that's like a whole quarter runway.
When's the meeting? December?
Yes. So as soon as the meeting's over with, they may do an issuance. They get the approval and they do an issuance.
Yeah. But like I'm not necessarily like they have to. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
Like that person who was like,
it's either that or bankruptcy.
I told them then when they were all like, no, I was like, if you don't give him shares, the company's going to go bankrupt. I told them that.
And you lose everything.
Right. And they got really
and they still don't understand that.
They got really angry with me for saying that. And now
like
they're
this
all
is
coming
the conversation
to
I've had where people
like 2.5, 3 years later, I told them I could probably find the tweet where I said that. If you don't give him shares, you're going to go bankrupt.
And it's been a recurring thing when I've been on Tony's show where people are asking me, you know, like, is Noisy interested in buying? And every time I said no. Like they've got to get out of being upside down and they need to show consistent profitability. And they've never done either of those. And I'm all about value plays, but I'm also not about, you know, cigar butt chasing. Anyway.
I actually want to go back to it because I
if we're talking about AMC,
I told them that years ago, right? And they all lost their fucking minds, and now they're like, oh, like they've just had.
Maybe Amy knew something. Maybe. If we're talking about AMC, we can't escape the gravitational pull of baggy lawsuits. It's going to be quick. So remember last time that we talked that Dude Bro got sanctioned. We said that he filed almost immediately after the sanction.
Yeah, did he get some more?
Oh, no, not yet, but he kept filing all this week. So he filed again on the 2nd. He filed again on the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and then
what do you
Adam
think they're going to do? Do you think they'll do like
9th.
$100 for everything every time he files?
I don't know what they're going to do, but at this point, it's just silliness. Like,
I mean, can he get into real trouble for like continuing to do this? Like, can he go to jail?
Eventually, like not real trouble, but eventually they're going to say you can't file without a lawyer. That's like the end of this. They may slap him with another monetary fine, but I believe the end course of this is you can't file.
Why haven't they done that already?
They think that he's a normal person and that like eventually he'll stop. But this guy is someone who's called up the clerk's office and harassed a clerk. Like,
what would
he's
make
not
them think
going to
he's
learn
a normal
anything.
person? This is clearly not a normal person.
Yeah. But anyway, also it's the Fifth Circuit. So like they've got other things to deal with. So they're probably not going to get around to him until they absolutely have to. But he spent the entire last week, aside from the 8th and the 9th, when Adam Aaron filed, he was filing something on the docket. Like this.
What did Adam Aaron file?
All he filed was that one of his lawyers was leaving, and also to respond that we trust that the court can realize that this guy's a dipshit, and we're just saying that if the court wants us to
clearly
file
not,
we will. But we trust the court's discretion that they will ignore these motions from this abject moron. But you know, if we're talking about AMC, what else do we have to talk about that's AMC adjacent?
Oh yeah.
She doesn't post often, I've noticed from looking at her feed, but like she clearly knows the audience she's having debate.
Hey, look, you know, like that the offering that they did. They
that's
raised
what I was going to get into next.
They got $6.50 a share. Like it wasn't a terrible thing.
I'm surprised that they even got that much.
Me too. I went and looked it up.
But they've done some reverse splits too.
Yeah, they have.
But the price also has matured because gold's been going up, and along with silver.
Well, you're seizing on the moment, which and like I can't even falter for it. Like it was. I mean, you raised $150 million, and you sold. You got to sell them for $6.50. Like, I mean, I remember when the stock was trading at 30 cents. So like,
yeah,
way to go, girl. Like
She knows exactly what she's doing. She's running a junior miner that has a very speculative mining operation, and she needs all the capital she can get to.
I mean, I think like we're seeing like a wave of offerings from even mid cap companies and large cap. I don't know if there's any large cap companies, but mids for sure. Because I mean, like you have to seize on these moments, right? Like when the whole friggin' market's melting up, and I think Joby just did a big one for like $520 million. But like, if it's an opportunity to access capital markets and not have to borrow, so like right. I think, I mean, congratulations, Diane Garrett. Like that's raising $150 million. It's a big deal.
I'm gonna have to find a way to record this because there's no way that 11 a.m. London time would be.
Didn't they pay off like all their debt? I think I saw that Andrew guy post that HYMC is debt free. Yeah, INQ. Yep. They're like debt free now. Yeah. Like especially these businesses like Quantum and Joby and like Archer, like
they need investment to stay
capital
afloat.
intensive. Yeah, yes. They're all capital intensive businesses, and like, I mean, this is what the stock market is, right? It's your access to capital markets, and you have to seize on them. Like this is what I was trying to explain to them, with AMC. Like if you don't give him the shares, you're taking away his opportunity to raise cash, and like it's, I don't think they're. Especially if they get prices like she got. I mean, $650 for this company.
Yeah. Considering what the company is right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find a way to see if I can get a recording of this because there's no way you're getting me to get up at 5 a.m. to listen to this because 11 a.m. London time.
She'll probably post it. She's
I'm sure.
Not.
Or it'll be posted somewhere.
Yeah.
Find out a little bit more about what's going on. Okay, I'm going to sneakily hide things. What is something interesting that happened this week that you think is next that we haven't covered yet?
I don't know. I'm tired.
Too late for me to think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah.
This is what I was going to make our main line until we had the whole freaking Trump tariffs thing. This was going to be our headline.
Do we know at what point in the hearing they because they were doing a hearing with Nasdaq, right? And they basically bowed out. Do we know at what point in the hearing they were at when they bowed out?
They didn't even do a hearing.
Yeah,
I think they were.
Withdraws from the Nasdaq hearing process. So they didn't get to a hearing, but they
they hadn't. Okay, so they just withdrew from the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, we don't want to. This was on the 9th,
that. So this was Friday. This was late Friday.
They get all this stuff, and they're like, we don't want to do that.
So this was Friday at. Let's see here.
Well, look, I don't think this decision comes lightly because
at 5 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
Good.
We're glad to hear that, Jay.
I would hope so. You should.
That's a plus.
But so this happened. So I saw that there was a little gentleman's bet going on that Ocelot posted, and I got my hat in the ring. So why don't we announce what are the dates that we all have on that?
I said March 16th, 2026.
Mm-hmm. Yep, mine is December 31st, 2025, and this is for them to go bankrupt.
Yes.
Or declare bank or petition, whatever, for bankruptcy.
I went for the memes. I picked September 29th.
Yeah, I like that date.
2026? Why? What's September 29th?
Seriously?
Seriously?
What?
It's when the Bed Bath & Beyond bankruptcy was effectuated.
Oh, gosh. I told you I am tired. I had to be at work at 8:30 and then go to a softball game and then back, and I'm just tired.
Wait, there was another one this year too. Oh, Wolf bankruptcy effectuated on that date this year.
which got them going crazy too.
That's like a really bad date.
Right.
That's why I picked it. Look,
yeah.
I had two options because usually there's a lot of things that happen in the bond market early fall and late spring. So I was going to pick, because remember, the Bed Bath & Beyond bankruptcy happened in April, which was getting close to that point because it was almost May. It was late April. So I was thinking that or early kind of fall, like that September window. So I went with the September window because I figured like they don't have a lot going cash wise, but they don't have a lot of debts anymore. So maybe they got a little bit of runway there. And plus, MULN's been this fucking cockroach that won't die. So we'll pick late 2026.
Well, I guess the question really is like, what are they going to be spending their money on? I still don't understand what they burn their cash on. Like they're
Amish watches.
Do they build? Do they actually build anything? Like, what do they do?
No.
Nothing.
So what are they spending money on?
Glue that mirror back onto that car. Yeah.
This is hilarious because right after that, like right in the morning before that announcement, he's like, "Oh, I am long." No, this was before
they announced it.
He posted this on the 10th in the morning, directly after the announcement.
Ooh, I was gonna say this was after they announced it, and I was like, "Does he know?"
Yeah,
I don't think he does.
No, I think he does.
He has to know. Okay, what is it at now though? And when does it go to the OTC?
It goes to
Monday.
OTC Monday.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and he says he went. Oh, I'm in for size long.
And he went long Friday, right before the sell-off. That is before the sell-off.
63 cents.
Fantastic.
Long vibration.
So like,
after hours, it closed at 53 cents.
Is it even going to trade in regular markets on Monday, or is it going to start?
No, it's going to go straight to OTC.
It could get a bump.
That's why I copied this. I retweeted and I said, enjoy that OTC liquidity when you need to get out of your position.
It could still be there. It could still do something.
I don't know, because
it's
not going to be on Nasdaq, which means it's not going to be any ETF.
A couple of chumps who are still left in it are going to get the fuck out.
Hopefully.
I mean, do people follow him into trades, like for real?
Hopefully not.
Yeah. A lot of people, I think, were in the comments of this giving him the shits. I'm pretty sure. I double checked. Like, there's some posts that he makes, but that people follow, but there's a lot where they're giving him the shits. One of the things that will be an expense on MULN, currently dealing with a shareholder litigation. They have filed their motion to dismiss. We're not going to go into it because we don't have time to tonight.
Thank God.
But just wanted to throw that out there. Something we missed from last week that I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was telling you about this platform.
Oh dear. Oh my God, damage their headquarters too.
Yes.
Didn't I tell you about that? I thought I told you about it.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe. I just don't remember.
Big things happening at Fairday Futures.
Big things, all right. So
exclusive news.
Skipping ahead, we got Quantum.
Yeah. They were talking about this in Malone Space. They were like, we had that great report today, and I was like, all I could think was Matt's tweet. I'm like, the report that you paid for.
Speaking of paying for things, this is absolutely silliness. They're trying to get people to. They're giving a cash reward.
The spoofing not working.
Their lawsuit is so screwed. We need to bribe people to help us find the culprits.
The spoofing thing. I told you that wasn't spoofing. It's not working out great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We also found out more about.
Pat, what did you read in there about the stipulations of the $7 million? You were reading it, and now I don't remember what they were. Like it was like
that?
Yeah, for the information. Like the information has to meet certain like.
Oh yeah, look at it because it's telling you what they're looking for
right here,
like illegal spoofing, deliberate blah blah blah, like or lending shares that you do not have. Like what? Like they want you to call in and be like, hey, I've been paid to bash your stock.
Well, I mean, I really only have one question, and that's like I have all the tweets, so like, do I just turn in Kevin Malone for the 7 million, or?
And apparently, it's in addition to the SEC's whistleblower program. So if you go to both, you can get double dip.
But most likely nothing from them because they have to win the lawsuit that apparently they don't have enough evidence for, or else they wouldn't be asking for.
And otherwise they wouldn't be. Yeah, they know they're screwed.
Like it feels like a setup of some kind. I just can't figure out what it is.
Yeah. Also, we have their patent, like trademark breach of contract lawsuit. So their lawyers who asked to withdraw because they weren't being paid, it was granted, but they do still have lawyers. They just have like 1, 2, because all these blank Rome lawyers, they are gone now. They have 1, 2, 3. So they have a few lawyers still. But yes, all of those lawyers that had asked to be removed from the case, they are gone. Super gone.
I mean, what do all these whistleblowers think they're going to get paid if they're not even paying their own damn lawyers?
Great question. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no whistleblowers.
Okay. So we've had this discussion before. There's a reason why these brokers don't let their clients just buy shitcos. It's to protect their clients. They have to call in and actually say, yes, I'm retarded. Let me buy the stupid stocks. But apparently Retail United, also known as Baggies United, is asking to is basically setting up a boycott to boycott Fidelity, Robinhood, and Charles Schwab, as if any of those companies will ever notice any of that happening. Best of luck to you. Also, they were promoting that, oh man, good golly jeebus, they got default judgment on one of the people in the RICO lawsuit.
It's not what happened.
I'm gonna let you. Well, they were granted it. They were given a clerk's default. Right. But here's the thing: how are you gonna collect on them?
Well, it's not.
That's not
even a
Happened.
judgment.
Yeah. Wait. Go ahead, Platt.
Like the other defendants are still filing their
right.
motions.
You have to wait for that to be able to determine damages.
Yeah.
So. But I'm going even further. Assuming
from the one guy who was not the former SEC chair.
Well, yeah, there's that. It's not the same person.
Well, it's not even the same name.
Yeah. But I'm going further. Assume they even get to that point. You couldn't get service on them. You got default judgment. How are you going to collect? Because I see this all the time with these lawsuits, like bill collectors. Me and Game Informer were talking back and forth because we both deal with collections in our professional life, and we've seen all this time about all these lawyers trying to get collections out of these people, trying to get service on them, trying to like garnish them. You have to know where they bank at, who their employer is to be able to garnish them. If you can't get service on them for a lawsuit, what are the odds that you're going to garnish them and get your judgment? Like something that these people haven't even taken like the briefest of second to think about. So speaking of lawsuits, how soon do you think that GNS lawsuit's coming? You think it's coming anytime
soon?
Soon, Tia.
Any day now.
They've been doing this.
I don't know. I mean, like X Market News, wrote that mysterious letter. So
super soon. He's been saying this since June.
So we're on like what, month 4 now?
Yeah, it's coming soon.
So soon. Also, man, developing Genius Group is expected to be one of the largest public companies to hold Bitcoin. That one of the largest is doing a lot of work in that sentence, because then they have to sell off a lot of it for their lawsuit funding and all that stuff. Oh, where we got next? No, I don't really actually care about that. We're not going to waste that with that much time. We're also not going to deal with that. Well, actually, we will, because this is silliness. Like, at what level do you have to be at that you make a chat like GPT? You ask it to make a Pulte plan fake book thing. Like, you couldn't just do this in Photoshop yourself you outsourced it to an AI bot, and it looks really cheesy and corny. It's kind of sad. Speaking of AI direct garbage,
oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh my god. Did you see the card with me on it?
No. Well, I take that back. Wasn't that one of the first ones back in the day when we were going over that? Because there was like an original set or something. I haven't paid attention to that. So yeah. So apparently there's going to be another Bed Bath and Beyond meetup with Creepo du jour. One question though on this: did you guys ever get your like nasty shield legal letters? Any of you? Part of the elite, the final four that got letters.
Oh, actually, I did it, and my wife is already contacting him.
I
hate when that happens.
like so easily to disprove how much of a like clown, but he just keeps going with the act like no one
is legal spelled with 2 L's or
no, I thought someone got that earlier when I was posting it. Oh my goodness.
It warrants inequality. Okay.
What's equality?
Equity.
Oh.
That's, I think, pretty sure what he was going for. So we also got an update as we move over to MMTLP, an update in the Berta case. Looks like we're getting a stay because the government doesn't have money to go after the criminals. So,
yeah,
sad days. That'll delay that
momentarily
case
paused.
Momentarily paused.
The Super Tweet of the Week.
One last thing, though.
I'm very excited about my Super Tweet of the Week.
I'm so glad that I no longer have to ask baggies on the internet for what stocks you like. They've conveniently made an ETF for me again.
Yes,
the first one failed, and now they're bringing it back.
What was the first one? I can't remember. Moon? No. What was it?
They even got the stocks in it.
I don't remember what the first one is. Shoot. What was it?
I want to say it was meme or something like that.
Was it Hope? It wasn't. No, it wasn't meme. It was something else. It was like Moon or Pump or I don't know what it was. It was one of those.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did find the one. Yes. Here it was that I was looking for. I put it in with the meme stock stuff. But yes, that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. See, that was just on September 3rd.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it. I remember seeing that tweet, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be a disaster."
And guess what? It was.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, it will be time for Stupid Tweet of the Week. Hey, we're going to finish on time tonight. Though I did not. Normally I have pre-prepped Stupid Tweet of the Week. I'm pretty sure it's in here somewhere.
You don't have it?
I think I do. I just got to remember where I put it. Ah, there it is.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to send it to you. Because
I'm sure I have the right one.
In your mind because I don't think I have it. Pull it up on my screen.
Yeah. See, usually I come pretty prepared that with Stupid Tweet of the Week, but not this time.
Oh, no.
I do have one. I just usually, like I said, I've got plenty prepared. All right, I will go back down and I will. Aha. So yes, I'll download this. And we will go here because it'll be in Oscar. And we will open with that. So we'll switch to this tab and we'll come back. All right.
Just want to make sure we all understand the M&A map for Teddy.
Oh my God! Thank God. Wait, let me see it. Double dummy transaction. What?
Was it in section 351 sections, butterfly or the double dummy transaction? So you see here we have Icon and Ryan Cohen up here, right? He's the creditor, right? So then under Icon, 6th Street is the creditor, and then that goes to Beyond. Okay, that's SPAC 1.
Wait, what? We're doing SPACs? What?
We merge it.
SPAC 1.
Okay, guys, you have to follow. This chart is so self-explanatory. I don't even know why you guys are confused. But we have Butterfly is SPAC 1. Okay, for Beyond that no longer exists. It's Bed Bath Beyond. GameStop is SPAC 2. We're merged with Baby, right? But that's going to go under Ryan Cohen, who's the creditor to Hudson Bay, and then to Baby, right? That's the second SPAC for GME, right? They all fall under Teddy. So we have 2 SPACs that are going to reverse merge with Beyond and Baby, which are currently one company. Marcus Simonis owns them all, both. He owns the entire thing. But anyway, so we're gonna split those up. We're gonna merge them. We're gonna reverse merge one with Butterfly, one with GameStop. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
No, I don't know what the fuck is a double dummy merger?
The double dummy who wrote it. That's the double dummy.
What is this? What is this? I tried to go through the whole presentation and I just confused myself. I'm like, reverse merge, whatever. But what is this? And where did you find this? Did you make this? Mr. What's his name? Who is this?
Oh boy.
One investor.
Platinum's immediately. I know who that dummy is.
Investor. Do you know who it is?
I know who. Yeah.
You
all of their tweets are like this.
Could you tell him that he's brilliant?
I'm probably blocked.
This has been a mystery to me for quite some time. So I feel like this clearly.
Well, I really want to know what he's talking about. No continuity of interest requirement. No limit on amount of boot. What's that? Okay.
But I mean, so if you go back up a little bit. Sorry, you made it a little too small there. The new S2 merges with Target.
What does Target have to do with this? What?
Hold on. No. It's not Target. No.
The Target is Baby.
Yeah. So they merges into Target with Target surviving, and B receives Nuco stock and boot.
Oh, and
wait, where
may represent more than 60% of the consideration. Of course, right? The key considerations, it qualifies as a contribution under Section 351, no continuity of interest requirement.
I'm not drunk enough for this.
No limit on amount of boot.
Oh boy.
And it requires the formation of a new holding company. So, I mean, this is it, guys. This is how we get here.
Well, speaking of hallucinating AIs, we can go to mine, where we have John Berta defending himself against a hallucinating AI that was talking on a space.
I saw this. Oh my god!
Well, I actually think this is the one thing that she didn't hallucinate. But I mean, sure.
Well, no, she was hallucinating the whole time. But
Thanks for the email.
She did try to drag John Berta for a moment.
But this doesn't even prove anything. This proves that he emailed somebody, but it doesn't prove that he did anything.
Well, the best part, I don't think you can see it, but he's like, without getting into the legality of whether this should be allowed. Like, okay, I mean, I thought that was the whole thing.
Right? Isn't that why you're emailing them?
No, he was just emailing them about the information because he didn't want to get into the legality of whether it should be allowed or not, which was like his whole story.
I mean, you've been crying that this is illegally trading, and you don't even question the legality of this to the person.
If anyone is wondering, Ava is an AI bot. talk trash about him, and he got so butthurt about it. He had to
his feelings got hurt. Yep.
Look,
imagine arguing with an AI bot because
he felt attacked.
hurt.
Or for Ava to be better.
Okay.
She attacked him.
Well, I have a feeling that's going to be really hard to top, but I've got this here. So we got
Amy's
KC Shaw making the return. M&A opportunities for 2026 quickly approaching. As a shareholder of your favorite companies, will you empower your investments to participate or tie their hands behind their back? This isn't about dilution. It's about trusting the business leaders to lead the company towards success. Your job is to... No, you got this backwards. And also, what M&A is AMC going to be doing? They have got bills to pay, bitch.
Well, let's pull up Amy's thing. Are you sure AMC is not involved in that double dummy transaction?
Look, there's plenty of room under the Teddy umbrella to add SPAC through.
I think so too.
Include all the shitcos.
There's unlimited boot.
Voltron.
Yes.
So.
As long as we don't cross over the 60% boot threshold.
All right. So we've got all three of them in. We've got all three of them in. YouTube votes. If you are on X, Rumble or Twitch, get your votes in. We of course have our 8 votes.
Or we get the superseding 8 vote, the superseding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, I would have voted for platinums because that's too much.
Stupid.
It's too much gold. Like
John
Berta being so egotistical that he
about an AI bot. And the fact that he even listened to it is so funny. But then that he got so upset about it and he had to tweet about it.
I did like the beginning of his tweet. He was like, I'll admit I stopped listening to Ava after she attacked me. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not listening to your bot anymore. There.
All right. We'll close things up and Amy will win for tonight.
Hip hip hooray.
All righty. So any final thoughts to close us out with for the evening?
Be careful out there, guys. Next week could be crazy.
Could be crazy, which is why I might do a live stream on Monday because I have the day off. I might not. Not saying that you guys have to show up, but it's a holiday and I get to enjoy it. And there's trading day directly after it, so I don't know. I might just doodle around and do stuff.
Yeah, the market is not closed. The bond market is closed, but the actual market is not.
No, it is closed Monday.
The market's not closed Monday.
It's not. Why did I get that notification on Webull that it was closed?
The bond market is.
Yeah.
But not the stock market.
Well, then I will get to have all the fun with the stock market going on Monday while I'm off.
Yep.
But Wednesday, Joey did it last week. I don't know if he'll be back, but we've got a series that we're doing for Halloween called the X Corp Files, where we're going over all the different.
Joey was
on. Yeah, he was on with me Thursday night. I need to edit that because the audio was wrong because I was using OBS, but I'll get that reposted and fixed. But we were going over X lawsuits, and a bunch of them are about my First Amendment rights, and there was some other stuff in there, some crazy subset laws, adjacent lawsuits, conspiracy theories. It's fun. There is a lot of weird X lawsuits and some that actually are meaningful. So we've been just kind of doing the X files, all the different, X lawsuits. So I'll be probably doing that Wednesday evening when I have my get off early from work day. So that's in the cards for October. And then, of course, Halloween, we'll be doing gaming night. We'll be doing our spooky video games like we did last year. So we got quite a bit of stuff for October. But for now, we're going to disappear because we're all tired. It's late. So we'll see you all next time, whenever that next time is.